Wise Talk family, we are back. Uh, got a little NBA heavy episode for you. I am joined by new Wise Talk members, Mason Miller and Rodney Hudson.
Yup, yup.
They're going to be joining me as we get down to the NBA stuff as the NBA season has concluded with the Denver Nuggets winning their first ever NBA championship, beating Miami in 5 games. Nikola Jokic with an incredible playoff run, closing it out, averaging, I believe it was 30, 10, and 8 in the finals. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna recap the season, and we're gonna go over what stood out to you for this entire season, and we're gonna start with you, Rodney.
Uh, it's a lot to pick from, a lot of teams, a lot of stories, but I'm gonna have to go with it's different, but I got the Brooklyn Nets. I like how the Brooklyn Nets, even though they got rid of KD and also Kyrie, I like how they bounced back, got Mikael Bridges, and also found a star in Mikael Bridges, like helping them get to the playoffs and they actually kind of put up a decent fight
Mm-hmm.
against the Sixers. So I just feel like the Nets were probably my biggest story of the season. How they found their star and now they can rebuild with this roster with Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie, a young Nick Claxton. So yeah, I like the Nets in this discussion.
That's a good choice, honestly. With Brooklyn, I'm still not sure if Mikael Bridges could like legit be the number one option, but
Mm-hmm.
I think Brooklyn knows where to go to get their number one pick. Plus, now they got like a bunch of assets from that Phoenix trade. So
Have a ton of assets, ton of assets.
yeah, so they have the what I'm trying to say, the capital to get their number one option. So, and I think the Nets, they're going to be set for the future. A lot of young players. They got enough money to get someone in next year's free agent class, because this year is not really good for
Yeah, it's not
a
really
big
crazy.
star. No, so they got enough money if they want to get themselves a big star in the free agency next year. So we'll see how that go. Mason, how about you?
So are we looking at this from like a positive perspective or a negative? Because I could really go either way with this.
It could go either way. Either way.
Okay, I'll actually just go the more neutral route. A team that really interested me in both some positive and negative ways is the Golden State Warriors. Looking at that team, especially their record on the road being as bad as it was,
Yeah.
you have to look at that. And of course, it's Stephen Curry. Of course, it's always going to be him. You know, he's going to do what he does. Top three player in the NBA, in my opinion. But looking at the team around him, we saw Klay Thompson. He's not looking like the same Klay of old. That Game 6 Klay stuff we already saw. That's fraudulent. That's not working no more. Draymond Green, we don't even know if he's going to be there next year.
Yeah.
I'm still like on the fence if I keep him or not. I think the team likes him, but with the whole Jordan Poole situation, you got him around. I don't know if him and Draymond, what their chemistry is going to look like going forward. But I'm looking at the Warriors and I'm like, is this the end of the dynasty? I know we've been saying it over and over and over,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the first time I've been looking and I'm like, I'm not 100% sure what they do from here. Jordan Poole's taking up a lot of contract space.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they necessarily want to give up on him and try to trade him even like anytime soon. So assuming he sticks around, I'm not sure what you do with that. Draymond, I'm not sure if he goes or leaves. If he leaves, that's a huge defensive hit that's going to be taken from the Warriors.
Yep.
Because even though he's on the older side, he still is a big defensive contributor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at the team and I'm like, I'm not sure where they really go from here. I'm not sure what moves they can make in the offseason. If they do anything, it's basically going to be running it back with the same core. And I'm not sure if anything's going to get better with what I'm seeing right now. Unless Jordan Poole just remembers how to play basketball like he was last year, I'm not sure what they do.
Yeah, the Golden State situation is probably the most intriguing going into the offseason, because I also did read a report that Golden State is actually is open to trade anyone but Steph. Yet
Oh,
again,
I'm
I'm
not
not
surprised.
yet again I'm not sure how really good that is, because now they're heading into this season with a new general manager. So
mm,
It should be interesting as they're bringing Mike Dunleavy in. He was the vice president of basketball operations, though. I'm not sure. Honestly, here's my bold prediction. I do not believe Draymond will be in the Warriors uniform.
I don't either.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think, especially with all the behind the scenes teammate turmoil, after giving Jordan Poole that big of a contract, if Draymond is truly the reason, as many people are speculating that Jordan Poole's like off, if that's the reason, at this point you gotta look at it and be like, one of you guys is our future, one of you guys looks like you're on your way out. Maybe not like this year. Maybe if he holds on, maybe not the year after next, but it's getting close for Draymond. We can see the writing on the wall. I don't think he'll be a Warrior either.
Yep. If Draymond were to leave, he would either be a Laker, Grizzly, or a Sun. Those are
probably a Sun.
Those are
probably a Sun. To be honest, in my opinion, I feel like the Warriors really don't need Draymond Green. I mean, I feel like they can go out in free agency and sign an interior center that can help them guard the paint because that's one of the big reasons they lost to the Lakers in the second round of semifinals. But they have Jonathan Kuminga on the bench and he barely plays because of the deep rotation. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga is not a bad player. He's literally 6'7", 225 pounds. Draymond Green is 6'6", and Jonathan Kuminga is an athletic freak. So I feel like he's been on the bench for a while. They drafted him. He's been there for a while now. Been 2 years? 2 years? Yeah, so I feel like he's 20 years old. I mean, he can play now. He shoots better than Draymond. He's just like, I feel like it's his time, and it's time to move on from Draymond. And that's for the rest of your team. Moses Moody, Jordan Poole. It's time for those young pieces to step up and kind of contribute to this future of the Warriors.
Yeah, because one of the reasons why we looked at Golden State this year is because how good the young core was, but it seemed have to take a drop this year. Because we praised Golden State's player development over the years and how they are able to make to make players who can make great contributions, especially when they need it most. Like Jordan Poole last year, Kevon Looney, all of these players who stepped up, who really doesn't do much, but they stepped up when they needed them. So they're also, if they're gonna lose Draymond, they're gonna have to keep going on these young players. They're gonna have to keep Moses Moody. They did draft Patrick Baldwin last year. They're hoping for development from him. If that doesn't happen, this Warriors dynasty is over. I honestly believe it's over already.
Yeah. I'm not sure I see them being championship contenders in the near future. Yeah.
But really, when we judge the Warriors, if they're not in the finals, the season's a failure. So.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, there's no in between with them at all.
I don't think Golden State will return to the finals anytime soon, unless a miracle happens, and I don't see that happening. So.
Honestly, I feel like the small ball era, which was really how the Warriors, their whole thing was run, especially with Draymond and all that. I think this is showing that the small ball era is over. We're back to a point. We were in a big man drought for a long time. You really got to think the whole 2000s, besides a few big names, once the 90s were over, it got to the 2000s, but especially the 2010s, it was bad. In the 2010s, we have the KG, he was kind of there.
Yeah.
Dirk was kind of there. But then from there, we had DeMarcus Cousins for a couple little years. We had
3-4 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's been bad. But, now you look at the top players in the league, most of the top 5 is big men. I think the days of seeing Curry's and Dames will not be the best players. As you see, anybody who's getting picked in the top 3, it's rare they're under 6-7 at this point. Yeah. I think the league's going back to a point where the big man is going to be dominating, specifically a big man with guard skills. Yep. As that continues to get better, I don't think these small ball lineups are going to be able to do much anymore. When you have a Jokic, you can't really put a Kevon Looney on him. While Kevon Looney's good, if that's your biggest guy. Yeah, come on now. That's not gonna cut it in this new era in the NBA. I don't think it's gonna work.
I see where you're going with that too as well. I mean, you can look at the teams that all made the finals in both of the conferences. You can look at the Heat. I mean, Bam is undersized, but Bam is big with guard skills. And the
Especially in the
Celtics,
end 1 through 5.
yep, and
Yeah.
The Celtics have Robert Williams and Al Horford. Those are great defensive bigs. The Nuggets, of course, have Jokic himself, and the Lakers have AD. So, I mean, you can look at all of those teams, and they do have big men that can, big bigs that can defend the rim. But which the Warriors do not have in this new era, it's kind of going to be hard for them to even bounce back and be effective in this new basketball.
Right. And like going into that big man era, the projected number 1 pick is a 7'5" demigod. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're about to usher back into the big man era. Now it's about to probably be a big man era from the internationals, because the last 5
Mm-hmm.
MVPs are international players. It was Giannis twice, Jokic twice, and Embiid last year. Shouldn't have been, but it was Embiid last year. Um, shouldn't have been, but
Nah, it should not have
but
been.
This should not have been.
actually, now to answer this question about what surprised you, well, actually, not what surprised me, but proved me right.
Mm.
Joel Embiid in the postseason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're
Mm-hmm.
absolutely right.
I
100%.
remember at our last dance podcast, I brought up Joel Embiid postseason disappointments. I brought it up. Y'all didn't really hear me, but I was right. Because in the first round against Brooklyn, he was, I mean, he really didn't need to be because it was the Nets
He didn't
and
really
they
need to
were
be dominant for real.
outmatched. But he wasn't as dominant as he was. But defensively, he was, though. I give that to him. Defensively, he was pretty great. But then the next series happened. And he was a complete shell of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game 7, him and James Harden was god awful. I thought James Harden quit, to be honest with you. Embiid didn't shoot officially at all this postseason. I believe he shot under 45% from the field, and I don't know how you do that. And you 7-1 and 290. I don't understand that. But Joel Embiid legit proved the point that his MVP was like a here nigga damn. That's basically
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. 100%.
Honestly, Joel Embiid, where would y'all rank him actually?
And my top 10?
Yeah, he's top 10 for sure, but where?
Uh,
Top 10?
I'll put him just because he won MVP and like how dominant he was in the regular season. I had to put him at 4.
Yeah, I still got him at 4. He's still top 5 to me. Anybody, I can, okay, because if my top 3 is like Jokic, Giannis, Curry, then it's like Embiid. If you put Luka over Embiid, I'm cool with that. But everybody behind Embiid, I'm still not quite comfortable saying that they're over him yet. But I am looking at Embiid. Well, no, I'm looking at Embiid the same way I've been looking at him all season. He got what he wanted. He didn't want the championship. He wanted that MVP. He cried. He whined. He bitched his way into an MVP, a fraudulent one. The whole season, I'm looking and I'm like, okay, Embiid. I'm not saying he's not an MVP caliber player. We know he's an MVP caliber player, but what was his real argument? Any argument for him was the same argument for Giannis or argument for Jokic. No matter which way you sliced it, it was one of those two to me. I think people kind of like got tired of Giannis in the sense of like, okay, he's doing the same thing he does every year. So it was really Jokic. And I think it was like undoubtedly Jokic. At a certain point, I think it was just Jokic. But that's neither here nor there. I always knew that Embiid, he's a great player. His leadership's in question. His character's in question. His motivation's in question. He's a consistent playoff choker. And it's not anything new. People are expecting like him to get an MVP and become a new person. This has been Embiid for as long as Embiid has been Embiid.
Yeah.
And also with an MVP, it's gonna exceed expectations. So I don't know how exactly do you expect them to when he's never even met the lower expectations. So maybe
I still remember that.
Get over the hump, but I don't know.
Yeah, I still remember the quote during his whole crying thing. People were talking about like I think it was was it Stephen A. Smith's list where he did the who has the highest playoff expectations. There was some expectations list, and Embiid was looking at that. He was like, "Oh, I never won an MVP before, so how can I have these high playoff expectations?" Now you won one. With an MVP, but like now you're gonna be looked at. Okay, that's an MVP. You're the only MVP to never make it past the second round, not to the finals, not past the conference final. The second round, which means like you're beating the sixth, seventh, eighth seed each time, and
getting right after
every year, and then as soon as
like.
you beat a team who's up to your level, you lose.
And that was the nastiest thing about the narratives. People's whole narrative against Jokic, he can't get it done in the playoffs. Like that's what it was. Oh, he can't win a chip, and then he went and did it. That's the most ironic thing ever. That happened, and Embiid choked the same way everybody with a brain knew he would. You're looking at him; it's the same Embiid. He's going to do the same thing. He's a great player. Do not get me wrong, but when the lights are the brightest, he's just not.
Can't really show up for.
I mean, I've had constant arguments about this with Rodney, with Coach J in the union. He didn't listen. Hey, I told all y'all though. I told all y'all. We actually wait, you say what, Rodney?
Are we still on this topic? Because I want to add on, like somebody who proved me right this season. I would probably say. Probably the whole Timberwolves team, and especially Karl Anthony Towns. I feel like, I mean, at this point, man, like, we made the trade, we got a center, we put everybody saying the problem was Cat at center because he wasn't aggressive enough, and that we found a center, we got Mike Conley, we had this team. Karl Anthony Towns averaged 20 points, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and they got first rounded
against Denver.
Like it's like y'all had all of our momentum after a good series against the Grizzlies last year, and it was a great series, and y'all built all that momentum. Y'all get the center just to lose in the first round and be the 8th seed out of all places.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I expected it. And I feel like Karl Anthony Towns. I feel like he doesn't have the leadership either. I mean, he proved me right. Always, yes. Karl Anthony Towns proved me right.
Speaking of Karl Anthony Towns, speaking of him, he made this dumbass quote on the Pat Bev show. He says, when it's all said and done, I'm glad people are going to look at me and say he changed the game.
Who?
Karl Anthony Towns. Cat, man.
Change the game. In what way?
Yeah, I wouldn't say change the game.
Yeah, alright, bro. Yeah,
I wouldn't say change the game at all. I feel like he's just a shooting center. It was a new era was coming. He was a good shooting center. I wouldn't say he changed the game. But I mean, all he does is shoot, and he sometimes can't even do that. So I mean.
And then one of the analysts that I disagree most on, Kendrick Perkins, actually made a great point. he said, how can you change the game when half the time we don't know you exist?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's basically what it is. As good as Cat is a player, we forget about him sometimes because he be in.
No, yeah, exactly.
That'll get him, like, people look at him as a joke, even though he's a very talented player. Even though I get very frustrated with him because you need to be getting your big ass in a low post and go post a 6'3" dude instead of shooting threes all the damn time. That's my issue with him.
Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like a lot of that has to do with the team too, though, right? Like just the team he's on. Like it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like I don't think we really looking at them importantly yet. Shit, they really haven't done enough.
I mean, I feel like we should though. I mean, I'm not gonna say we should, but they should at least be improving every season, if that makes sense.
I mean, if you look at it, they are.
They
have Anthony Edwards.
They need a point guard.
I don't know. I heard this from somewhere, but it was going around that they were gonna start building around Anthony Edwards instead of Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
I mean, was that always the goal? I think it was.
I don't think it was the goal until recently. until like very recently.
I think what happened is I think they didn't expect for Anthony Edwards to like rise so quickly, and then they started to believe that Ant is probably easier to build around, and I actually believe it is. So
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of Karl Anthony Towns, it wouldn't. First off, just going back to him actually real quick, because I agree. The Timberwolves. I'm not even gonna say they like surprised. Well, you said proved you right. If you mean proved you right, isn't how bad they are, how bad they're going to be. I 100% agree. That Gobert trade, 100% to me, is going to one of, if not the worst trade in NBA history. He almost changed the landscape of like what every star was gonna have to go for. I remember when the KD trade rumors were first season, people were like, "How is he ever going?" Like, if Gobert went for that, what is KD gonna? You're gonna have to trade your whole team for KD at that point.
The whole team in 7 first rounders.
Yeah, like I don't know what the Timberwolves were thinking for Baguette Biombo, but it's just it is not going to work out with them. I don't know what they're about to do with Gobert on the team. They have to trade Cat at this point. Like it's mandatory.
They have to do it because they can't just retrade Gobert after they gave up. All
They shouldn't have made that trade. Like speaking on that trade, hold up, my bad, CaBreon. But speaking on that trade, Cat actually like his stats like they dropped compared to last season. Like his rebounds went down, his points went down, his blocks went down. Like I feel like that trade really like regressed him as a player because he was in the 5, bro. He can be more impactful at the 5. Now he's at the 4. But they also traded a good rotational player they had in Malik Beasley. They had Jared Vanderbilt. Like they had a lot of good pieces around their team to get to the next level where it was last year. But
it was. I think it was worse that they started to kind of show out. Like for example, Jared Vanderbilt started to show out when he left, and he went to the Lakers. Like, and I think a part of that shows you that this isn't really all on the players. A lot of this got to do with Minnesota's coaching. They're behind the scenes too.
Yeah.
Like because when I look at it, because D'Lo struggled with Minnesota. Malik Beasley played okay for a minute, and then he kind of like went off. Then he like dropped off. It's just tough when you're not a superstar or a superstar scorer to play with Rudy Gobert because he clogs up so much of the paint, and all he does is oops. That's really what he does. So it gets tough to play around him. I mean, Gobert's not a bad player, but
he's not.
You just too big not to be somewhat of an offensive threat. That's what I'm saying. Like,
what do you call a bad player? Because what I saw this year out of him, what are we calling bad? I mean,
a bad player is Killian Hayes. I mean,
Pat Connaughton isn't a bad player.
Killian Hayes slander.
Like,
respect on Killian Hayes, man.
No, Killian Hayes is bad.
Is James Wiseman a bad player? Like these are the people that I'm looking like.
I mean,
is James Wiseman a bad player? That's a good question.
Wiseman played well with the Pistons yet again. It's the Pistons.
Yeah, I think you put.
Would you rather, if you're the Timberwolves, would you rather have James Wiseman?
Give me James Wiseman.
Or James Wiseman.
He has some skills.
Wiseman for sure.
He has skills offensively, so I'll probably
like Gobert at this point. He's a huge contract.
Yeah.
To do what? Sit in the paint. He can't like create his own shot. He has no post game. He has no nothing. He's a lob threat, but I mean anybody who's tall is a lob threat. As long as they can catch and like have basic hand-eye coordination.
It's kind of like Capella.
Yeah, his defense. Well, Clint Capella. I'd rather have Clint Capella than Gobert easily to me.
Clint Capella rebounds the ball and he defends.
But Gobert as well though.
I
still rather have Clint Capella. I feel like Clint Capella is more of
you're getting for cheaper.
It's like he's
younger.
Cheaper. He does the same thing, and he's more of a pick and roll threat compared to Gobert.
Yeah, you are right.
Gobert can't move. Like he's just stuck in the paint.
Yeah.
Like it's just he's not the same as he used to be. And as people are getting faster, bigs are getting more skilled, he's going to get exposed more and more and more. And I'm not just saying he's a garbage player. He's not garbage.
It's not good for this era of basketball.
He's not impactful. Like Rudy Gobert in the 90s, he'd be great.
Yeah.
He'd be great.
Yeah.
But
he's one of those players who's just in the wrong era, I think. Like, and it worked for a while.
I mean, he's not defensive player of the years. So.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have got one of those.
Yeah, that's kind of true. I would give you that.
Do y'all think those defensive player of the years put him in the Hall of Fame?
Nah.
What do you do in college? Because the basketball Hall of Fame is a lot easier to get into than people think.
He didn't do much, but the 3 defensive player of the years is going to give it to him. Because the basketball Hall of Fame, it's the easiest among all the professional sports to get into.
DeQuan Johnson already qualified for the basketball Hall of Fame. It's easy as stuff goes, man. They let anybody in. They let anybody in. Ison McNutt might make it if he played one more season. Like, the basketball Hall of Fame is so easy to get into. I'm not disrespecting any of the people in there, but oh my gosh, man! Like,
they're very easy to get into. Honestly,
like looking back, if you looked at Gobert and you ask somebody, is this a Hall of Famer?
You're going to say no.
No, like it's no. No, it's a no-brainer no. But for whatever reason, one day people are going to look, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer, and it's just, people who saw him play, it's going to be like, what?
People he played with.
Yes, like,
is going to say no.
Like, and when you look at this up, one of those things, and this is a whole different question. Do you think the Hall of Fame is really that valuable? Because I saw a quote from Jimmy Butler during their offseason.
Not basketball.
Like Jimmy Butler was talking about if he got inducted, he wouldn't even go. And I'm looking at it, I'm like,
that's Jimmy Butler, and
that is Jimmy.
He is a not caring attitude, but I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I guess if you work that hard, you're gonna care. But just looking at the names next to you, what do you look like getting inducted to the Hall of Fame next to Rudy Gobert?
Honestly, Jimmy Butler, he's gonna end up getting in there because I saw resume comparisons. He has a better resume than Reggie Miller.
Wow.
You want to talk about Jimmy Butler? Do we want to talk about? We can get into that. The top 10. Wow.
Yeah.
We can talk about Jimmy.
Okay.
It's a topic, but it goes. What I say? It goes. What it goes? Jokic, Giannis, Curry, and B. I have Jimmy at 5.
At 5.
I have Jimmy at 5. I have him over Luka, over KD. Over Tatum.
We might be after the first round or two. After the first round or two, how good really was he?
Listen. I feel like
C.
It's just impressive how he led this team. By the way, no Tyler Hero. Basically, their second best offensive player, in my opinion.
Wasn't it?
You know, he takes his Miami AC, beats the Bucks.
Like, he's low top 10 to me. He's still like a top 10 caliber player.
So where do you have? Where do you have him? Who's over?
Let me go back and look at my list. Let me look back. He's up there. I'm messaging Butler. That's one of my favorite players in the league. 5 is nuts.
I have
5 over Luke. If you were making a team, if you're starting a team, you're picking Jimmy Butler over Luka Doncic.
Just because of this way he changes his culture. Great leader, of course. I would choose Jimmy Butler.
The intangibles, I understand that, but at some point, that only can get you so far. The power of friendship storylines, that can only get you so far. We're just talking basketball player.
Especially at this era.
Yeah, I don't know. So, wait, is this my list right here? Okay. Jimmy Butler for me. Jimmy Butler on my list was literally number 10.
What?
He's literally number 10.
You have Bron over Butler?
No, I don't. LeBron's tied for 11 for me.
Well, hold up. You had D-Book over Jimmy Butler?
No.
I do.
You want me to read my list?
Yeah, yes, please read your list.
Okay, number 1, Jokic.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. Number 2, Giannis or Stephen Curry. I don't mind which one you put in either place. After that, I'll still leave Embiid right there. After that, Luka. After that, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jimmy Butler.
What? Okay, the last three just threw me off. AD.
A healthy AD or Jimmy Butler? A healthy AD?
And Jimmy Butler.
Wait a minute.
Even the injury kind of AD.
I'm choosing Jimmy.
is like,
Of course over that. Jimmy versus a kind of injured AD. I'm choosing Jimmy. Tatum over. I'm taking Jimmy.
But here's the thing.
Well,
When healthy, I'm taking Anthony Davis over Jimmy Butler.
yes.
But the problem with Anthony Davis is we always have the when healthy label over him.
This is true. But this postseason though, he didn't have any. If I remember correctly, he didn't really have anything. And he played Jimmy Butler. Besides I think we're getting clouded by how amazing he was in the first round, and for like 2 games in the second round.
Very, very true.
After that, he was pretty mid. I'm not saying he's bad or anything. He's still, like, we know what Jimmy Butler is. He's a really great player. A lot of people said it was injuries. He said he wasn't even that injured. He was just mid. He was coasting off that same hype from earlier on, that people were blinded by that and looking at it. He was not the same guy. The guy that the Bucks faced in round 1, that was Jimmy Jordan. That was Jimmy Jordan. After that, he became back human.
MJ whistle during the Bucks series. He got an MJ whistle. Let's get into it. Jimmy Butler for me, he ain't in my top 10.
whoa. That's blasphemous.
He's at 11.
That's blasphemous.
That's not horrible though. I mean, like, it depends on who's over.
Okay, so here's my list. I got Jokic, Giannis, Steph, Luka, KD, Bron, Embiid, Tatum, Devin Booker.
Bron's still that high?
Who's the last one? Oh,
The
dang.
last one was Dame.
No.
Wait, so then who's not?
I got respect for Dan. Yeah, I don't know about Tatum.
So Tatum is in your top 10. Did you say him?
He said Tatum.
Yeah,
Oh.
Tatum's 8.
Who's not there? Okay, you got Dame up there.
I don't think Tatum's better than Jimmy Butler.
You think that Devin Booker is better than Donovan Mitchell?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I don't know if to go with that.
Give it to him because he has the better resume.
Yeah, I think I have D Book over D Mitch by 1 spot. They have 1 spot.
Yeah. Actually,
Well, both of them are down to my 11.
Actually,
I think I have.
question: do you have Ja over Shea?
No.
I think John's like 16, 17 on my list.
I don't think that's an argument, honestly. I think that's actually pretty clear Shai's better. I think that's pretty clear that Shai's better.
Okay.
Shai is...
Are y'all letting the gun get in y'all head?
No, I'm not worried about that little BB gun. I'm not worried about that. That little Nerf pistol, I'm not worried about it. And we can get to that later. But... no, I'm not worried about that thug. He can. It's just Shai. I got Shai over Ja. It's pretty like. I would say next year Ja could show me something, but he can't. He actually just can't. So I die.
Y'all keep going. I'll be right back. Y'all keep going.
All right.
Gotcha.
Who's your 11?
My 11, like I said, it was tied for LeBron and Donovan Mitchell. That was my 11.
People is going to hate me for this one. This is a very, very hot take. But just because, he led his team to the playoffs first time in forever.
De'Aaron Fox?
Like the beam. Give me De'Aaron Fox. Like the beam.
De'Aaron Fox. He might be a smooth, like,
listen.
11, 12.
I mean, people underestimate De'Aaron Fox, though. De'Aaron Fox showed out in the first round against the Warriors. I feel like they should have won that series, even though they choked. Should have won that series. He played good, though.
Wait. I think I accidentally forgot to put Fox in my top 20. I accidentally forgot to put him in there. I forgot his name.
Fox averaged 25 points per game. 6 assists, shooting 51% from the field. I feel like Fox was amazing this season. He was a big part of the reason, probably the biggest part why the Kings went so far, but they put up a fight against the defending champs, Steph Curry. So I feel like they got to show for something.
So here's my thing though. if you put Donovan Mitchell where De'Aaron Fox was, he would do the same thing, if not better. Because
Okay.
you have De'Aaron Fox over like Donovan Mitchell, right? Who do you have him over? Who do you have him over? Because he's definitely okay. Looking at my list now, I'd probably have him. So that's 11, 12, 13. So yeah, I'd probably have him like 14, 15. 14, 15.
In that 14 11 range, he'd be over. I hate to do this, but Dame my favorite point guard, but he'd be over Dame.
Over Dame?
He'd be over Dame. I just had to read my list.
Fox over Damian Lillard?
All right, y'all, I'm back. That was ridiculous, Rodney. I heard that. That was
De'Aaron Fox over Damian Lillard?
Y'all know how I feel about Damian Lillard. Y'all know how I feel. Y'all know how I feel about Dame. CaBreon do. Y'all know how I feel.
Yep.
I had to put De'Aaron Fox is over Donovan Mitchell. And who will be at that last spot?
I don't know.
What? I mean, you gotta look at it. Like he won most improved. Here, Mill, I'll give you the list. You feel me?
To win, average. To like be the most improved or improve, like heavily improved, you had to have been like somewhat bad at one point. Donovan Mitchell has been he's been doing this for a long, like he's like we know what Donovan Mitchell is. He can give you what did he drop like what did he drop this year?
Yeah, like 61. Yeah.
71.
Come on, bro. And then didn't Dame do like 60 or something this year too?
Yeah, y'all know how I feel about Dame. He's my favorite guard. Y'all know how I feel about Dame.
So you have De'Aaron Fox. No, not the Fox is like right under there. Fox is right under. I have him 14 or 15. Just I can't comfortably say that he's over Donovan Mitchell, Dame, and then you said he was over Shea too.
Yeah, he's over Shea.
I can't do it. I can't because 11 means that he's arguably top 10. I don't think there's an argument for De'Aaron Fox. Yeah. You're talking about the leading the team. That's great. That's cool. But that's a storyline based narrative. We just saw how that MVP went. Off of these storyline based narratives. It's a feel good story. I love that for him. I've been knew Fox was gonna be nice. But Dame is proven he's been doing this for a long time. Donovan Mitchell, he's been doing this for seasons. Like we've seen what they've been doing. Shea, he's new as well, but I just feel like Shea Shay's better, and he's gonna continue to be better.
Also,
I can't do that.
Because I was also on the Shea bandwagon. I picked him to win Most Improved Player this year. He finished second. Lauri Markkanen got it because it actually made the most sense.
Lauri Markkanen was actually hooping this season. Like I don't know if they were
like a bench level player.
Man, I don't know
like a starter.
Lauri Markkanen came up.
Boy, he had to take like
because we would wonder like where he would fit in the league, and then he just ended up being an all-star. So
yeah, that was.
I mean, they finally gave the Most Improved Player to the actual Most Improved Player. So
yes, yeah, I can't even remember who was Most Improved before this.
Couldn't even say. It's probably Jordan Clarkson. Was it Jordan Clarkson?
It was Ja.
It was Ja. It was Ja.
Mm-hmm.
What was the year? Oh, so, okay, was the year after that Jordan Clarkson?
It was the year before that.
Before that.
The year before that?
Was that Jordan Clarkson? Yeah.
It was.
No, he was Sixth Man of the Year, I think. That was Sixth Man of the Year.
Last year, if I was voting, Jordan Poole should have easily been Most Improved last year. He went from G League to like. Well, now what's his contract? He got like a crazy. That's easily like no brainer. Out of the league to like people.
5 years,
like the next
5 years, 131. Damn, it's a lot of damn money.
That's another.
Okay.
But let's actually speak on Dame. Actually.
Oh man, my favorite guard, man. Talk to me.
Did we see him in his last season in the Trailblazer uniform?
Personally, let me go first. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a damn guy. I'm a Trailblazers guy.
Yep.
This will be the last season I see Dame in the Trailblazer uniform. Only because of the simple fact, I feel like Dame, he's not trying to rebuild, and that's what the Blazers are trying to do. I feel like if they draft Scoot Henderson, Dame is gone. Personally, if the who was number 2 pick? It's the Hornets. The Hornets. Yep. If the Hornets pass up on Scoot, which might happen because they might draft,
It could
but
happen.
because they might draft Miller because they already have LaMelo.
Mm-hmm.
That would. I feel like if the Blazers draft Scoot, the Dame era in Portland is over. Just because they would now have three guards. They'll have Simons, Sharp, and that'll be Scoot.
Yeah.
What would be the point of having four guards here? So you trade Dame. Dame goes off to a. I hope the Blazers do him good. Trade him to a championship contender team like the Bucks. The Bucks can have Dame.
Honestly,
The Lakers can have Dame.
Dame.
No teams like that.
Dame can stay away from Milwaukee.
Why do you feel that?
Yeah,
Why do you feel that? Why do you feel like that?
Because he made a dumbass quote about Mike Budenholzer getting fired.
What was the quote? I didn't see the quote. What did he say? What did he say?
He said, "Y'all mad that a championship coach is getting fired when he delivered y'all a chip." Let's be honest here. If KD didn't go over 10 in overtime and his little toe was on the line, Mike Budenholzer would have got fired that year.
Yeah, absolutely right.
So,
true.
And Giannis saved his job. To be honest, let's be honest about that, because he was on borrowed time to begin with. That championship saved him time.
But is that the only reason why you do not want Damian Lillard on the Bucks?
Yes.
What? Like, as a Bucks fan, as a Trailblazers fan to a Bucks fan, that is so petty.
Honestly, to be honest, if Dame were to come, I'll get over it. Let's be clear. I'm gonna get over it if Dame comes.
What would you give up for Dame? Because as a Trailblazers fan, I feel like
honestly, I would give up Drew. I give up Drew.
I heard a lot of people say they would keep Drew and trade Middleton, and they would sign back Middleton and Portis, and they would trade those two.
No, I'll keep Chris. Chris actually played well in the postseason. Like now with the full offseason in which he's healthy, I'm confident that he'll. You
crazy if you think you're getting a game without Chris though. That's crazy.
Yeah, but
that's crazy.
Honestly, as much as I love Drew, we gotta move on from him.
You wouldn't like a Dame and a Drew like backcourt? That would be crazy actually.
That'd be insane.
I would love it, but the thing is, Drew's offensive struggles, especially in the playoffs.
They come to light.
Yeah, it's bad, and honestly, it makes the most sense because, well, honestly, with Chris actually, because that scoring load will go to Dame.
Yeah, it would probably be Dame and Giannis. Dame and Giannis pick and roll. Brook Lopez in the corner.
Yep.
You feel me? Drew Holiday spot up be the second option because a couple of games when Giannis was injured during like the regular season when he was out. Drew Holiday stepped up big time some games. He stepped up. So I feel like Drew Holiday can be a third option. He can be a third option.
He can, definitely.
I think Drew Holiday can be a second option sometimes.
Nah, I don't know. I couldn't say second.
Sometimes there are games where Drew plays out of his mind.
Yes.
The second option goes bad.
That's why I say he can be a third option.
He's too streaky. He's too streaky to be like your second option.
I feel like he's just scarily inconsistent.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, if he's guarding a guard like Devin Booker, on the other hand, we're set. But if he's facing Jimmy
that's why I feel like y'all should keep Drew Holiday. I'm a Trailblazers fan, and that's why I feel like y'all should keep Drew. I feel like we don't need Drew. Please don't give us Drew. We already have enough guards.
Y'all don't want Drew. That is.
We don't want Drew. We don't want Drew.
That is right.
If anything, we probably want Bobby Portis and Chris Middleton over Drew.
Honestly, as much as I love Bobby Portis, I am open to trade him. I'm open to trade him.
And we would love Bobby Portis in the Trailblazers uniform. We would absolutely love it.
Yeah, actually having Bobby in the Portland environment, that'd actually be fine. So I think they'll take that.
That'd be a great 35 in my opinion.
You're probably gonna have to include Pat Connaughton in there, give y'all a spot up shooter at
the
position.
Let's be honest here. Like, y'all can go right back to continuing on. As a Bucks fan, as a Wisconsin sports fan, I mean, not Wisconsin sports in general. NFL and NBA, it's Wisconsin. Why are we acting like Dame's gonna come here ever in any universe. What star have we in like? I don't know ball on baseball. I don't know ball on hockey and that type of stuff. But for NFL, NBA, when have we ever like signed or traded for a star? We have to develop everybody. It's just not gonna happen. While it's fun to imagine,
with the NBA, John Horst is an aggressive GM. NFL, on the other hand, with Brian Gutekunst, we're gonna talk about the NFL some down the line because I got a lot to unload about that. He's not aggressive at all. It took him a million years to get the Aaron Rodgers trade finalized. Like, and honestly, when I think about it, he wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers, but he knew he had to move on. But that's just me. We're not. You are right, though. Wisconsin sports, we're not aggressive. Because the Brewers were not aggressive at all.
I don't think it's even an aggressive thing. If you're Dame, think about the trade landing spots that like he could possibly go to. The things that people are talking about. If you're Dame, you're looking at like if the options are like Miami.
Oh yeah,
Miami
versus
LA.
He was in Miami and
Miami versus Milwaukee. Come on, like it's.
He also has been in a small market for his whole career.
Exactly.
Why we want to stay in a small market.
Milwaukee's probably smaller than Portland.
Yeah.
So it's just at this
I feel like Milwaukee probably gives him the best chance to win. Well, Miami gives probably him the best spot to win and be like comfortable in his own sense.
Plus, Dame has actually shown interest in playing with Giannis. So.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. That would be an amazing duo. And like, if this was 2K, where like you could just trade what you want to do, just do stuff, we can make a package to where that could work. But in real life, unfortunately, it just doesn't happen. I don't even get my hopes up about those things you were talking about. It. If he's not in a Trailblazers uniform next year, he's in a Heat uniform. I truly believe that. He already said like he does not want to go to the Celtics. They're racist, all type of other stuff. That's dead.
That's another reason probably why he don't want to come to Milwaukee too.
If I'm him, I'm looking at the Heat, and that's the best. That's the best situation. If he goes to the Heat, him, Jimmy Butler, Bam, that is
Tyler Hero. That is a ring.
But here's the thing. Would probably Hero or Bam would have to go to get Dame?
Nah, I don't.
If anybody goes to be Hero, it would be.
I feel like they can't trade Hero, and the Blazers would not want Hero. They would not want Hero
because they definitely don't want another guard. But yet again, Miami don't want to give up Bam. So you're gonna have to give up one of those two.
I don't think they're gonna give up Hero or Bam. I feel like Hero has been too productive for them for such a long time.
They get Dame without giving up those two. It's the height of the center.
Okay, but you gotta. But look, if you look at what they just did without Hero. Now imagine you trade Hero and now you're adding Dame to that.
I don't like that.
If you're looking at it, it's like, am I? Because here's what you gotta look at. Jimmy Butler, while he's not like super old, he's getting older.
He's getting there.
And Hero, like, we don't know what he's going to be. We know what Dame is. We know that's a guy who can go out there and give you like 30 when you need it, 40 when you need it, 60 when you like. That's what he can do. That's what Damian Lillard is offering. And now you're taking more of the offensive load on Jimmy Butler. So Dame, he's coming in to be like a number 1A, 1B type guy, or just number 1 just in general type guy.
Well, they can't trade Tyler though.
They just made the finals without him. Here's
the thing. What actually happens if Portland were to like include a third team who would like Hero?
See, dude, we're talking about something completely different. But
then we're also giving Portland enough credit to know that they don't need Hero.
They don't need Hero.
Portland is a bad run franchise. That's like a franchise that's an incompetent franchise. That's just one of those teams. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, Portland does know what they're doing.
You offering Tyler Hero. Ooh, look, Portland. Ooh, Tyler Hero.
But they're not going to take that. Listen, for the simple fact,
they throw Tyler Hero and whatever else they can. I'm not sure what else they can look at. I'd have to look at everything. They will take it. I
promise you they will not take Tyler Hero because it's just too many guards.
They're looking to rebuild too.
If they were because it's all dependent if they get scooped. It's dependent if they get scooped.
Oh, that's yeah.
Because
I feel like they're going to get scooped. We're already interested that
Well,
Hornets were already interested in Anthony.
Wasn't Anthony in some trade rumors too or something? Or
I don't think they trade it. They can't trade it.
Because look at it like this. Say okay. Because let's go back to a 2K mindset now. Say they get Scoop now.
Okay.
Trade Anthony for somebody else. Boom.
Why would they trade Anthony though?
Because
why not? Because now they got Tyler Hero. You got to think, or they trade Tyler Hero after.
Oh, we're doing this in the sense that they have Tyler Hero.
Yeah. So let's assume that they're making that trade. Now they have two pieces that are young and good. And now they can go out and trade for like a big or something like that. And now you got a future with Scoot, Tyler Hero, or Anthony, and whoever else they trade for. I can see Portland being dumb enough to do something like that, or just like that could make sense in their brain. That's a Portland thing to do. That's young players to build around for the future. They want to they can finally commit to the rebuild. As long as they have Dame there, they're always going to be stuck in that. Are we rebuilding? Are we not? Like, are we going to be completely mid? Are we just going to be trash? Like, what's going on here? They can finally just say, look, Scoot's young. We got Scoot now. That's a great future player. I've been looking at, oh my gosh, Scoot looks like he is like that. Realistically, the Hornets should take him, but that's neither here nor there. So you bring in Scoot, and from there, you're looking at like, okay, let's just get some young guys and let's just do some bullshit until we can just figure out where we want to go from there. I could see that making sense. Like, you would think
I just can't see that. I can't see that.
I promise you throw in like you throw what's his face Tyler Hero at them, they're gonna take it. For Dame, they're gonna take it. At this point, they're looking at it. It's time to give up on the Dame thing. It's been fun. He stayed loyal. It's time to run from the grind. It's time to run from the grind.
Here, I don't know what you just said, mate. I don't know what Mason just said. I don't feel like the Blazers do that. You feel me? They already. Listen, they get Scoop, they have Sharp, they have Simons. And we can't forget, they also have Matisse Thybulle. And also they have Cam Reddish as well, which a lot of people have forgot. For me, Cam Reddish.
Also,
go ahead.
That, EJ, our Coley NBA analyst, predicted that Cam Reddish wins Most Improved Player next year.
Yes, I agree with that. Because
if he ever gets into a game.
Listen, that's a great topic, but I feel like Cam Reddish has never been in an environment that's like, oh my god, like let's develop Cam Reddish. Let's look at the Hawks.
Is that the Trailblazers? Is that what they're about to do? Especially if they get Scoot, he's just going to fall further down the depth chart.
I feel like he could start there if Cam Reddish is actually productive. He can start as a Trailblazer. I mean, they can play Cam Reddish or Matisse Thybulle. I mean, if Cam
Reddish, like, what was like his player coming into the league?
I feel like it was Paul George. I feel like that was his player comp. That was his player comp.
Like a two-way shot creator, okay, archetype.
I mean, we saw what Cam Reddish can do when he played the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals when Trae Young was hurt and Giannis was hurt. He dropped 30 that year. He dropped 30. He could. So it's been, and he did that also his rookie year. He had a couple games where he had 30 or 20 or 25, but it wasn't normally consistent because he wouldn't get all those looks every night. So I feel like if Cam Reddish is in an environment, if the talent and the potential is there, I feel like if he gets the development right, if he gets enough looks, I feel like Cam Reddish can be a great. What would he be like a second option on the team?
Third option, probably.
Okay,
they have a lot of options on that team.
I'll let y'all finish this up, but this Cam Reddish thing, because this actually pivots directly into another topic that I wanted to bring up. I'm surprised it wasn't on there. Just like current NBA things. Did you guys see the Patrick Beverly 50% of the NBA doesn't love the sport?
Yeah, I did.
Conversation, Paul George and DeMar DeRozan commented. I think Cam Reddish is one of those players where he came into the league. He was just one of those guys who just naturally talented at the sport. And like he has a bunch of talent, but he doesn't know basketball, and that's why he's not getting in. Because you see him get in the games, and you wonder, why is he not, like, he could be a starter, something you would think that.
He could be a star.
Something has to be keeping him on the bench. I think that he is just a player that is just, like, so naturally gifted, but just a super, super raw talent to where he's just going to need to be heavily developed and heavily coached to really learn the ins and outs of basketball to really be useful. He might be one of those AAU type players like the Jalen Greens that I'm seeing and all those guys out in Houston who are just out there just like, out there hooping like it's blacktop. I think that's his problem. Because there's no other reason, unless he's just like beating up coaches in the locker room or something. There's no reason that guy should not be a reason
why he's not being played.
There is a reason, because Tom Thibodeau really didn't like him there, because he hated the fact that the Knicks actually went to get Reddish because they said it was gonna mess up his rotation, even though he didn't really do it. Cause
he didn't even play Reddish at all. He didn't play Reddish.
Yeah. But just even like going back to the overall scope of the 50% thing, because I wanted to bring that up after we were talking about Cat as well.
Yeah.
Because I think Cat might also be one of those people where like he just doesn't like have that hunger at all. When I heard that quote, my brain instantly, and of course I don't know these people at all. Now, who I can 100% say is on that list, Benjamin Simmons, Benji Simmons, he's on that list. Ben Simmons. Karl Anthony Towns, I feel like it doesn't mean that they aren't good at it, but I think a lot of players, especially with the AAU stuff and especially with the like more fame and fortune that comes from basketball, a lot of players are getting into the sport and they don't really like care for it as much. Not saying they don't like it, but look at it like this. If there was just a league out there that was like giving out a bunch of money for you to be like an Uber driver, and you could drive good. I'm gonna if I'm just a good driver, I'll go to the league and be an Uber driver and get fame, fortune, a bunch of women, all this other stuff. Like it comes with a bunch of benefits. I think we're seeing a lot of players who just don't like, they just don't want it. You see the old heads all the time talk about, oh, the mentality shifts. I think that's true. I think all these players are coming on it. It's a noticeable difference with the stars that we're seeing today and their attitudes towards the league versus what it used to be back in the day. And I think that's also why the foreign players are dominating right now. Because you look at it and you think about what a foreign person, like most of their conditions, they're in a lot less. Think about Jokic and like his brothers and whatnot. What they were talking about going through. Giannis, what he talks about going through, working with his family. Those are people who love they had to work like their life depended on it. Now we're getting people who like rich families coming up privileged already. All on social media, all that type of stuff. They're celebrities more than they're hoopers now. It's a different mentality shift, which is why we keep on getting all these players who have huge potential, Zion, but just can't ever like do what they're meant to do. They have all this talent and they just don't have the work ethic. They don't have the discipline that these older players used to have that allowed them to be so great. Imagine Zion Williamson with the Kobe mentality. He would lose more weight. He would work harder. The weight issue is why he keeps on getting injured. When you're that big, there's some things you just can't do. There's some things you just can't. Your body can't take as much physical taxing as lots of these older players used to be able to put up with when they worked harder. Think about Ben Simmons. If he just had a little bit of dog, just a baby chihuahua, like a puppy, something. Give me something, a little bit of bark, something, Ben. If he just had something, all that talent he has, there's no reason Ben Simmons should be unplayable. That's disgusting. We're getting consistent number one picks that are like just nothing. And I'm sad to say, Zion, he's getting in that bust. Like in this next year, if he doesn't come in and do something, he's a bust to me. At this point,
they're thinking about trading him actually.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Because Zion, when he's on the court,
yes, he's like that. He's like that. There's no reason. That's what I'm saying. These people are too talented to just be this, like, all of them, you're just looking at the stuff they do. Ja Morant, all of them, like, they're just worried about things that aren't basketball. I'm sorry, and we heard this during the 2020 quarantine BLM days. I'm going back to it. Shut up and dribble. Get on the court. Just hoop. Please just hoop. Just hoop. Just be good at the sport. You're good at the sport. We're seeing so much talent go to waste because these people's mentality is just not where it needs to be. And I can't judge the characters of people that I don't know, but you just look at the signs they're showing. You look at the repeated behavior. This is becoming common stuff. We're seeing people who are taken early on and have all this natural talent put it to waste because their mind isn't in the right place. And it's getting annoying and sad to see as a fan. It really is. Because now you're looking at the future of the league. Guys like Ja, Zion, Ben Simmons, These should be people that we're looking at, and now we have a bright future. This is why we're still stuck on the LeBrons and the Currys and whatnot to still be the top players in the league. Because these new guys, they just don't hoop. They just aren't hoopers for real. Like, they just don't do what they're supposed to do because their mentality's off. And it's really sad to see.
Are you putting Cam Reddish in that same boat though? Like him
I think he's one of those guys who just like he just goes out there, he plays, he hoops, and his brain just isn't in the right place because there's something that people are seeing. How many teams has he been on so far? He was on the Hawks, Knicks, and now Blazers. And he's still not getting in. There's something going on. It's not a talent thing. He goes in like he could be a bench player. For him to just not see any minutes on multiple teams.
I feel like with the Hawks, I feel like it was just a really deep rotation. I feel like they played him when they could. I feel like the Hawks, you look at that team 2-3 years ago. That team was deep. I feel like the Knicks was just like between him and Thibodeau not seeing eye to eye. And I feel like the Blazers, they should play him. They should, realistically.
I don't know.
If he's traded, Cam Reddish is probably most likely going to get playing time because they're at the stage where let's see
a lot of playing time.
Yeah, let's see who we got and let's see who we'll build forward with because that's what rebuilding really is. Like
I can't necessarily
run 11-man rotations and they don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't necessarily put Cam. So to answer your question, I'll say no for now. But something is going on off the court that is messing him up, and if it's off the court, which means it's not physical, that means it's now mental. It's personality issues. Something is going on. Unfortunately, we can't be in those locker rooms to tell you. Like, to know what exactly is going on. But anybody who watches the game, when he gets in, we know he can hoop. So it's not that problem. Because I see people who can't hoop get in the games at crucial moments. Grayson Allen. I see bums get in I see bums playing. So he could play for somebody. You mean to tell me he couldn't play for the Knicks? Honestly, I don't care how much a coach hates you. To just not see any minutes, something's going on. What did he do to the coach to make him that mad? What could he have really done?
I don't think it's really. You right, Mason. It has to be something with his mentality. It's something about that. It has to be.
There's something going on. There's something going on behind the scenes. He could be a great guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything about him. I don't know the guy. But at some point, you have to start looking at these things and be like, okay. At some point, if you're a coach, you're getting paid to win games, and you have a guy who can really hoop out there, and he's just like not getting in, something's going on that we're not being told, that we're not being shown. Something is going on. So maybe it's not I don't love basketball thing, but it's something with his mentality, something with his personality just isn't working. And it should be alarming for people who are really paying attention.
Yeah, you right, man. I don't know where I'm going from there. I mean,
yeah, I think you might have hit it on the bill, man.
Yeah, for real. That was good.
That was good.
Ate that shit.
That was good. I don't know where to go from that. Legit, I don't know where to go.
What, next topic?
Yeah, probably next topic. Nikola Jokic. So,
what did they talk about? Greatest player in the world.
The real MVP.
Yep. Is he the best player in the world? Did he prove it?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
What? Are you crazy? Did you watch basketball in the playoffs?
No, not even in the playoffs. He's been the best player. Realistically, he's been the best player for a while,
for at least 3 years now.
He's my number two. He's my number two. He can't be my number one yet.
Who's your number one?
Giannis. Don't say it.
Giannis. Giannis still has to be my number one.
Giannis is my favorite player in the league.
Look, here's the thing.
You can't put Giannis up there. He's not as dominant. Giannis is dominant, but Jokic is way more dominant. Like, Jokic is putting up double-doubles in the first 4 minutes of the basketball game. I've never seen that in my life.
Okay, I have so much respect for Jokic, but his game is one of the funniest I've ever seen. He plays like a loaf of bread.
That's the problem. It just works. Like, okay, you gotta look at it like this. I watched Jokic play. I've watched plenty. I've never seen Jokic make a shot that looks like it was supposed to go in, but they do. He just does stuff and it just works.
It's routine for him.
It just works. He goes to the post in slow motion. You look at it, you're like, I know what he's about to do. You just can't stop it. He's dominant in a way that isn't like obvious. He's like, where Giannis is more like, what's it called?
Here's the thing, Giannis, he'll force his way in. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Pause. Wow.
I know. I still give Giannis the top spot because I still believe he has that defensive anchor over him still.
Listen. That's what I have to say about that. Which made me think that Jokic was the best player in the world is when he played AD. He killed AD. He thrashed AD. Like when he did that, I'm like, he just probably played the best defensive big in the NBA at the time when he's healthy. AD has an argument for that. He killed AD. So
but you got to look at it like this. AD, I'm not gonna say he's overrated, but Giannis be giving him buckets every time they play too. I think what I think.
If you're a superstar offensive player, you're most likely is going to beat the dominant defensive player.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Yeah, I was about to say, like, it's the same thing when we saw, like, Jimmy Butler cooking Drew. You can be the best defender in the world. You're going to get cooked every once in a while. I'm not even saying that takes away from the Jokic argument, but I'm just saying, like, using that as, like, the end-all, be-all, like, I'm like, And I'm not even saying there can't be arguments made for Giannis. What he said with the defensive thing, if you actually value defense and whatnot, that's true. But at some point, it's like Jokic is so offensively dominant, and he won it. He did what he had to do this year. Giannis, unfortunately, as a Giannis fan, whether it was injuries, whatever you want to say, whatever happened, he lost in 5 to the 8th seed.
And also hit.
As a Giannis fan, you can't take that away.
The missed free throws in Game 5.
Mm-hmm.
They were all brutal. If Giannis, I believe,
please talk about that.
If he makes 3 of them, we win Game 5.
Yep.
Can we please talk about that? I ain't gonna lie. If I get paid millions of dollars every year to shoot a basketball, I'm gonna learn how to shoot the basketball. I'm gonna learn how to shoot. That's just me. I'm gonna learn how to shoot that basketball. I'm gonna learn how to shoot.
In my opinion, if you never had a shooting touch, you're never going to get a shooting touch.
Well, okay, no, because here's my thing. Me and Coach Jay actually talked about this one day, a random day after school. It was like on a Wednesday. I think it was like the last week of school. But anyways, with Giannis because if you remember, like rookie, skinny bean Giannis he used to be able to shoot a little bit. He used to.
Yeah.
The problem is, and you can even look at this on a smaller scale with like Cash Nasty, how he shoots. If you know who that is, the YouTuber. When you're that muscular with them big, broad, huge shoulders, have you seen like Dwight Howard try to shoot? When your shoulders are that big, you literally can't lift your arms up to a certain point. So you're like shooting from like your elbows, basically, like that. Like it's so weird. Like when you see him shoot, just look at the way that all these super buff dudes shoot. Like it's ridiculous. So when your arms are like that, it's a lot harder to shoot than you would think it is. So it's not just like a go in and just, I'm just gonna shoot and hit it. And also with Giannis, I think it's also a mental thing, because I think when you can't shoot for that long, once you start learning how to, you can see him every time he's about to shoot. You can see him like fully think and go through the motions in his head. Yeah. I think if he just started being more unconscious with it. And with Giannis, unlike Benjamin Simmons, he actually works on his stuff. So he's going to get better over time.
He tries to get better with his jumper. I think he just thinks too much.
He thinks he.
You can see it when he load up. You can see it when he load up with his jump shot.
Yeah,
he thinks about every mechanic, everything.
It's that hesitation that kills me. Like every time he hesitates, I'm like, I
think he just opens it. Every time he goes to shoot the free throw, that's why I started doing the kind, because you can see him in his head. Like it's he's like, catch the ball, look down, 1, 2, 3, dribble, put the ball back in my hands, lift it above my head, shoot. Like he's doing that in his head. I fully believe that. Lift the ball, dribble the ball, shoot the ball. Like he's doing that in his head, and you can see it. And it's like, bro, just calm down. You can do it. You're just overthinking it.
I can agree with that. Because, like, I'll tell you. Yeah, go ahead, Mace.
Oh, I was just gonna wrap up and say, like, I think the next year it'll improve, and his shooting did improve, but it's like marginal improvements. I never expect him to just be like a KD or something. If you're expecting that, then just run. If he can just learn to hit his free throws, he'll be fine. And I think that's doable.
Throws and get a mid-range game too. A mid-range game be fine.
Like DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't gonna get DeRozan level because he's one of the best mid-range shooters.
Yeah, but if he can just like step in, hit a midi, make him guard him a little bit, so pull him out the paint, at least to the free throw line.
And plus, along with that, now with Adrian Griffin at the helm, I think a lot to do while the Bucks lost. We don't run plays. It's ISO and pick and roll constantly.
Get the ball out. Get the ball to Giannis and Drew. Run a little pick and pop. Chris, let them ISO. Yeah, y'all don't even run the offense for real. So I mean,
then everybody at least at the wing or the corner. And if Giannis kick out to you, you better make your shot. And they did do that.
Yeah, Bucks really rely more off of defense to win games. If you want to be honest, and score a fast break.
And they don't. They protect the paint more than they protect the perimeter.
That's crazy.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's a big Milwaukee problem. They'll let you shoot a lot of threes. And my biggest thing with us is that we don't really when we see our game plan is going wrong, we don't make adjustments. We keep going and we just milk it dry.
Blame Michael Vincent Budenholzer for that.
Yeah, Budenholzer, he's just dumb. Like it sometimes I look at coaches in game and I'm like, you're getting paid a lot more than I'm getting paid. If I can sit on the couch and look and say, hey man, Drew Holiday is getting cooked. Please, just once, just test it out. Maybe I could be wrong. Try a double team one time. Just see what happens. Just maybe see. Hey, Budenholzer, Giannis lost the ball. Chris Middleton lost the ball. Grayson Allen has it. Timeout, maybe. Hey, Budenholzer, the time's running down. When you pass it to Giannis, don't let him sit there and dribble the clock out more. Call a timeout and get us down the court faster. You're going to do it again in another 2 seconds. Now you just wasted time for no reason. It's just basic stuff. Like, he just actually couldn't use his brain.
I don't think Budenholzer is a good, like...
He's not. He's been not. Didn't he? Wasn't he like the Hawks coach?
Yeah, the Hawks can never make it to the finals. Not one time.
Yeah, so he was the Hawks coach, and he had a 60-win season with Al Horford,
Jeff Teague,
Carroll,
Kyle Korver.
But he got swept when he faced LeBron.
They can never beat LeBron. They can never beat LeBron. I mean, it is LeBron, but that team, like, he could just never, like, get... I feel like they will always get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the second round, and they will always lose.
Awful. Like they don't get it to 6 games. It's 5-4.
Yeah.
Super competitive, and you win 58 to 60 games.
Budenholzer, to me, is like... And that's why when people were talking about, oh, you threw Budenholzer under the bus by firing him. No, that finals win was not a Budenholzer thing. I did not get done with that. Once we won that, when I looked at it, that is Giannis. What he averaged in that finals? He was like
5.
That's not a coaching thing. That's Giannis being an all-time great player thing. You just so happen to be there as well. When that got done, my first thought after winning, one of my first thoughts, obviously first I'm like, finally, shit. But I thought, oh my God, Budenholzer is going to stay for longer. If it was up to me, Budenholzer would have still been fired after that year. We won in spite of Budenholzer, not because of him. But you just can't do that. That looks crazy. You can't do that. So then it's like...
Because even though this did happen, Dwayne Casey, when he was the...
Well, what was it? Yeah, the Pacers coach.
No, the Raptors coach. No, he was the Raptors coach.
I'm tweaking.
Yeah, he won Coach of the Year in
still got fired.
The same year.
Here's my thing.
That gotta be crazy.
I think if you look at somebody and you see that they're bad, didn't Budenholzer win Coach of the Year that year too?
Yeah. He won that year. He won Coach of the Year.
Was that? Yeah, because here's my thing. Budenholzer that year, he just got saved by that championship, which we all know. Anybody who paid attention to the Bucks knows that. That's why Dame doesn't know that. Yeah. Shut up and dribble, buddy. You don't watch Bucks games. You're not a Bucks fan, buddy. You're a Trailblazer. Be a Blazer. Actually, you're at home a lot, so maybe you do watch a lot of Bucks.
All right, relax.
Anyways, though, anybody who was paying attention to the Bucks knows Budenholzer was on the chopping block. If he did not win the championship, not just make it, but win, he would have been gone. So boom, that happened. So now you can't fire him. That's just ridiculous. It's like, okay, maybe we might have been wrong. The next year he loses. Well, he just won a finals last year. Let's run it back one more time. And then they lose again in a bad fashion. Now it's like, okay, now you have to go. You have to go. But to me, he's been gone. He's been gone before we won the championship. Like, there's so many seasons where we just got all the way back to the Raptors season where Kawhi beat us. Don't get me wrong, legendary playoff run. But Budenholzer, if he just adjusted about that damn wall, if he just learned that Giannis could maybe pass out or something or do something instead of just trying to run through the wall like a big idiot all the time, you're telling me we wouldn't have like swept that Warriors team with no KD, nobody?
I'm pretty sure we're
whooping them. We are whooping that Warriors team. So that's one championship right there. Who did we lose to? Oh wait, what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Weren't the Bucks up 2-0 against the Raptors?
Yeah.
They lost.
Oh yeah. And then shit the bucket. Like, and that type of stuff, I literally cried after losing that because I was so angry. I'm like, no adjustment, just none. You're just like, he just sits there and just takes it. They say, this is what we're going to do to you. You're going to lose and you're just going to take it, Budenholzer. And he says, yes, daddy, I'm just going to lose. And we lose over and over and over. The Bucks, there's no reason, so many years where we just, no adjustments. The Celtics season, what was that, last year?
Yeah, last
year. Well, we lose to the Celtics all the time, so I actually just don't know. But when we lost to the Celtics last year, bro, guard the perimeter, please.
Grant Williams shoot what?
Please.
Oh, didn't he have like a master class against the Bucks one game? Master class.
He's never shot like that ever before in his life, and he's still
and ever after. Like bro, against us. There's no all these historic games and stuff, all these historic things happening against us. And it's just, oh, this is just a coincidence. No, Mike Budenholzer at some point is just incompetent. He was just incompetent.
I got a question. Was the scary Terry thing? Was he still the head coach then? Was when Terry Rozier had like 30, 40 points?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I knew there was a Celtics one in there. It was like
wait. So was that the year where it was Rozier and then the Celtics went to the Eastern Conference Finals?
And they played LeBron and lost to 7?
Oh no.
Yes.
So,
no. That's a different year.
That was a different. Oh, okay.
Because
I'm pretty. Did the Bucks win that series?
19, right?
Yeah, because I believe that was Jason Kidd's last season there.
Oh, okay.
Mid-season, and that was the interim coach.
Okay, just had to make sure.
Yeah.
Kawhi was 2019, right?
Yeah, Kawhi was 2019.
Yeah.
And we won in what year?
2021.
Okay, who was 2020? I remember 2020 being
Lakers.
Lakers. 2020 was the Lakers.
Yeah. So who did we lose to? That was when we lost to the Heat, wasn't it?
I lost to the Heat.
Yes. That was another one where we just no adjustments.
Yeah,
and it's like we lose
series where I cried at because I thought we was gonna lose Giannis.
Yeah, like it's so much stuff, and I'm just looking at him over and over, and I'm like, okay, and this like 5-year span or 4 or 5 years, whatever it was, the fact we only had one championship in this blows my. The Raptors one is the one where I'm like, okay, 100% without a doubt, that's a championship. Last year, to me, I feel like we would have whooped those Warriors too. The Warriors are not like they just actually can't do anything about Giannis. They would have got whooped to me too. What does Draymond? If Draymond doesn't hit Giannis with a tombstone power driver, we're winning. So it's just like that's 3 championships that I think should have happened over this, guaranteed to me. Besides that, getting the finals.
We have the most regular season wins since Budenholzer has took over, but we only have 1 championship to show for it.
Regular season coach.
I'm sick of that. I'm so sick of seeing him get out there and just be dumb and look dumb. And I just look at him every time they show him. His eyes are always puffy. He looks like he's about to cry. And I'd be about to cry too if I was that stupid. Like he's just out there just doing nothing. What does he do? Like, oh my gosh.
You want to talk about stupid? Let's talk about Ja, man.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
but it's a wrap up that last topic. Yes, Jokic is the best player in the world.
Yeah, Jokic is the best player in the world.
also like a quick turnaround. Then we can switch off. I'm glad the Bucks acted quickly. It didn't act like the Packers with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And we acted quickly on that, so I'm glad that happened. So
relatively,
yep.
Yeah.
Welcome to the team, Adrian Griffin. Let's get us some chips. So
Well, yeah.
to the next topic. Y'all actually wanted to talk about the Ja suspension and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Ja.
Let's talk.
Wait, what's going on?
Talk about how he only got suspended for 25 games.
Yeah, 25
Only.
suspension. I believe he's actually not allowed to be at training camp.
No, he's not.
Oh, man, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that, man. He's not even focused on the game itself sometimes. So him not being on training camp is actually pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
But, if Ja doing that during his suspension, he getting kicked out the league.
Yeah.
If he doing that during the suspension.
I mean,
if he does it again, it's rats, right? It has to be.
It's like done deal. Because they were generous with the 25 games.
Yeah. I feel like at the end of the day, it's just another conversation where Ja's going to be Ja. I mean, Ja Morant's going to be Ja Morant on the court, off the court. I mean, you really can't. I feel like his dad is kind of like that too for some reason. I feel like he grew up like that for some reason. So I feel like at the end of the day,
but I don't know how.
Yeah. But I feel like
you lived in the suburbs, top-notch private school, a married family. You had it all. Why in the hell are you going to this path?
Well, okay, with that type of thing, that's kind of one of those things where you can't really just judge it off of that, because I know, and I'm sure you guys also know examples of people like that who I just idolize that idea of getting it out of the mud or whatever else it may be. Not even saying like he just is a wannabe. Like I that's one of those things that's always rubbed me the wrong way. And obviously I don't want him to like actually be like that. But people who say he's a wannabe because he grew up in that type of situation, there's lots of people, and also just to put context on it, his house was like a few minutes away from like where it was really bad at. Where he went to school at was like right there. So it's not hard to get access to that life if you seek it out. So assuming he hangs out with the type of people who are around that type of stuff, from the looks of things, those are the type making pure just not 100%, but just pure judgments off of what I'm seeing. Lots of people that he's hanging out with look like those are people who are at least around a bad environment. So if those are the people you hang around, then you're going to want to do what they do, especially being young and impressionable. If he was young and impressionable and a dumbass when he was younger, now he's just a rich dumbass, which means he just has more access to more stuff. And now it just now whatever he's doing is just under a magnifying glass. So people are saying that's not really what he's like. And to me, I think that's just actually just him. I think he's just wild and young. I'm not saying he's like that and like, oh yeah, I kill people and all that. Like, just because you have a gun doesn't mean you just kill people. That's another thing that I think people are overreacting. I don't think he's like a thug, but I think he's just somebody who is just young, dumb. He likes to party. He likes to hang out with people who have guns. He has a gun, probably, and whatever else. And he's just being irresponsible. And I think there's a lot of players who are probably like that. They're just not under the same magnifying glass. They're just not dumb enough to put it on IG Live. Ja Morant is a young player. How old is he? Like 23? 23. He's like 5 years older than the rest of us.
Yeah.
So he's been growing up on social media, all that type of stuff. He's used to that. So like we're getting on these players who are now like all the time on IG Live, streaming, all these other different things. So if you're on IG Live and you were already doing irresponsible things before, but people just didn't see it, now you're just showing it, and you're too dumb to know not to show it.
You bring up a great topic with that.
He's just actually just dumb. That last video, that's why I want him to be going for longer. Just because you're that dumb, he like the video started off. He didn't have anything in his hand. He saw, oh, I'm on IG Live. Let me pick up this gun and show them.
Yep.
What do you do? Like he's just rich and dumb. You can't do anything to fix that. Like they're talking about, oh, he's gonna go to all these different camps. He's doing all these apologies. I actually just don't care because that's just who he is.
Because that canceling thing that he went to, he checked out just 2 days after.
What are they really gonna do? Think about what type of camp can you send somebody to stop showing guns on IG Live?
Exactly. It's not. I feel like y'all bring up a great topic with that because y'all say people are not understanding magnifying glass and the stupid. I feel like somebody who's super irresponsible just from like watching him come up was LaMelo Ball.
Oh yeah,
I feel like LaMelo Ball do stupid stuff all the time. Super irresponsible. If you watch Ball's life, with the Ball family, you see LaMelo's probably the most irresponsible superstar ever.
Yeah, and
but LaMelo isn't dumb though.
Yeah, plus I saw videos LaMelo with these like expensive ass sports cars just speeding in Charlotte streets.
Yeah.
LaMelo's probably the most irresponsible superstar probably behind John Morant, but LaMelo Ball isn't stupid, and he also has LeVar Ball to tell him when he's doing dumb stuff. Unlike John Morant's dad.
I feel
tell him to like stop.
Yeah, I feel like that's LaMelo. I feel like LaMelo might be bad if he wasn't growing up already around that.
Yeah,
he's had the reality show. He's been around the cameras. He knows how to act. So that's why I feel like that's why we don't hear a lot about him as much as we we think we should.
And this is where I go back to the mentality thing because, like you just said, which was a great point, you're getting these players who are now getting here and they have crazy fame. So if you're not somebody who's used to that type of stuff, now you have all this fame and influence. If he used to be going on IG Live with guns like in high school, if that's a learned behavior, clearly he's used to doing that because now like that's just like pro. You saw him do it. It was like an automatic thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm on IG Live. It's time. Bring the guns out. Like it was just natural for him. So if you're not used to having this much influence, this much weight on your shoulders now, this is completely new to him. So now you're getting guys who are getting pushed in front of all these people, and now it's like you have to act right. I'm surprised more people don't get caught like this, to be honest.
Everybody is stupid.
That's true.
There's some people who is around like other people's circle and like, hey, you can't be around here doing that but here's the thing. Stephen A. Smith, he brought up a good point. The NBA always know what you're doing.
Yeah.
No matter how well you know it, they have access to damn near everything. Like they're gonna be monitoring John Morant a lot. It's gonna be damn near stalking. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. It's gonna get bad for him.
He did it to himself though.
I almost feel bad, but at the same time, it's like at some point you're too stupid. But like you just look around the league and remember, going back to the bubble, who was it? Was it Lou Will, the chicken wings in Magic City? Yep. like all players. These guys are rich and young and getting a bunch of fame, a bunch of status. They're gonna do crazy things. You just have to be smart. Oh my God,
Jamal Murray.
You got to just be smart enough not to put this stuff on the internet. And there's a lot of stuff you can get away with, but once you start, okay, like let's just be honest here: black man, tattoos, dreads, waving guns around, all this other stuff. Listen to the young boy. Oh my gosh, them white people in them suits, they are up there.
Trying to get you going.
Get that boy out of here.
I'm telling you, if David Stern, the previous commissioner, was there, John Morant would actually get banned.
It'd be worse, yeah. It'd be a lot worse.
This entire season. Because he did not.
He would have cut John's dreads off. He would have made the tattoo removal. All that, yeah. And Allen, he wasn't doing nothing. AI wasn't doing nothing for real. But John, like he's just dumb. He's just actually just dumb. James Harden is Lil Baby's girlfriend. You think he's not around people with guns?
And James Harden ain't dumb though. James Harden almost 40 years old. James Harden almost 40.
He's not dumb. You can do the stuff off camera as long as you don't get caught. It's all about, at the end of the day, the NBA is a business and it's about what you're putting out. They're trying to monetize Ja heavy. All these Nike deals, Gatorade deals, all that. When you're doing that, and then the person you're trying to make the new face of your league or one of them, because all the other faces just I don't even know what's happening to them.
Like Ja is a great face.
Like,
he
yes.
he gets an incredible amount of.
Oh yeah. Incredible marketability, super likable personality. Like he's a personality. He's like a Justin Jefferson in a sense of like he's doing all this.
Literally alike.
Yeah, like those are the direct comparisons. He's just not dumb. So he has all the charisma, and like white people love the whole black, all that other stuff, like the dancing, the prancing, the grills, the chains, all that type of stuff. That's cool until you go too far. Ja was just dumb enough to go too far.
Glocky.
Stupid.
Yeah. He's just dumb.
Yeah, he's not smart.
Yeah.
But it's okay though. He's young. He's young.
Yeah, like he has plenty of time to like grow, and plus, I hope Memphis they should go after like some veteran players to like help mentor him a little.
Yes.
You look at that team. Hold up, I think the oldest person on that team, 29. He's 29.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's 29.
I mean, we also brought up LaMelo. Let's look at the two like youngest teams.
Oh, we don't even want to talk about the Hornets.
The Hornets and the Grizzlies.
Bridges, PJ, LaMelo. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
PJ and LaMelo, man.
This just shows the value of like old players. Like all the unks out there. Like when people wonder, well, like a Udonis Haslem is still on the team. Those type of guys. That's what they do. That's what they bring to the table.
And plus,
speaking of that,
and plus, don't forget about like their president is Pat Riley. He don't play about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He don't play about that.
The oldest person on the Hornets is Gordon Hayward, but Gordon Hayward isn't really like an influence, like you feel me, like a motivator.
Oh yeah, no.
And then the person after that, that's the oldest after him is Terry Rozier. And Terry Rozier ain't no leader.
Terry Rozier was. I just got to listen to. He was on a rap song with Miles Bridges.
I forgot about this. They got Kelly Oubre on the team too. So
the ultimate light skin.
They got Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier, PJ Washington. They had Miles Bridges. This is
like all these young. You can tell when a young team. Well, you can go first, CaBreon.
And plus, their team owner. Well, at first, their previous team owner has a huge gambling problem.
Yeah, he's not gonna get nobody in check. He's not in check himself.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, but I'm just saying, y'all go by the way.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, anyways, though, that's neither here nor there. Whatchamacallit? All these young teams with these young players, they're just running wild. We're getting all these young players into the league who don't know what to do with themselves, and now you're putting them on teams with no veterans. No,
I wouldn't say every team. No, I wouldn't say every.
No, I'm not saying every team. I'm talking about these specific teams, like in the Grizzlies. I'm looking at the Rockets. Who do the Rockets have that are like older?
The Rockets are like. I feel like
they have a few players that are like.
I'm not even saying like off the court. But like,
I feel like they have more of like locker room like issues of like getting the ball. I wouldn't feel like they're like irresponsible.
They're on court is their problem.
Yeah. I'm not saying, but like right now, that's right now. If something happened if Jalen Green all of a sudden did something crazy, would you be surprised?
Nah, the older person on this team is Frank Kaminsky, and he's 30 years old, and I don't think Jalen Green listening to Frank Kaminsky.
That's what I'm saying. Like all these teams, like, and you can tell when a team is undisciplined. You can tell. The Rockets are another one of those teams where if something happened off the court, I'm gonna be looking at it. I'm like, am I super surprised? Yeah. What's Frank the Tank Kaminsky about to tell Jalen Green or whoever else? Let me not say their names. I don't even want to wish that on them. Please just be good. I'm tired of seeing dumb NBA players. Let's just be good. But if something happened to any of those young guys, would I be like, I can't believe it? No.
Since we're on this topic of young teams, I do want to shout out a couple of the young teams that are on track, like the Magic and the Spurs and the Pacers and whatnot. I mean the Pacers are kind of old, but like most of their players, like Chris Duarte, Miles Turner. I mean, Buddy Hield 30s. I mean, you can kind of see him as a vet. But yeah,
but he knows his way around, and
yeah, he knows his way. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I see what you're saying. So like, yeah, the Magic, Spurs. It seems like that Pacers. I feel like we give them the props, give them the flowers on how respond. Even the Thunder, give them the props on how court, how like their team is. So like, yeah,
The
I want to shout out those
Kings
teams. The Kings.
The Kings also pretty
Yeah,
good.
the
Yeah.
Kings.
And the Kings got veterans on that team too. They got veterans. They got Harrison Barnes there.
And if we do, we can shout out the Atlanta Hawks too. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks really never drama. I mean, a little bit,
No,
but they're not really.
the whole thing. Trae Young's like running everybody out of the like all the front office people. Like he's been running everybody out.
And I got a problem with him. He got 2 black coaches fired.
Yeah, like Trae Young, they have not been good off the court. Like there's been a lot of like kind of behind the scenes drama. Then there was like a whole thing with like the front office is like basically the main guys like friends. Like he's just bringing them up there, and they're just like getting jobs because other people are getting fired, and they're just hiring people who like are close. That whole franchise is run horribly, so I can't give them credit. I can give them credit for like not doing anything like bad necessarily, but Trae Young, he's been
like they haven't done anything like we have to do an entire topic on. That's what.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It hasn't been like crazy new stuff, but like if you're tapped in and you're like really paying attention to what's going on, it hasn't been all rainbows and sunshine over there. But everybody else, yeah, I can give them the Spurs with pop around. Like it's actually Pop ain't going for that. You don't need that. That is your OG.
Yeah, Pop don't play. Pop,
and you gonna listen to Popovich, and that's the thing.
Along with that, they got Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker consultants.
Yeah,
they gonna be in the building.
Yeah. So I think just having a good role, really in life, good influences for these young guys who are coming up here, this rowdy and all that type of stuff. Having a good influence can really change these stars' lives. Just somebody there to get on them. And then that's the same thing I saw with Zion. Charles Barkley was talking about like if he needs to reach out to him, he will tell him to get in shape and get everything together. These are the type of guys like it's the older generation's job to look back and help the younger guys to come up and be the good guys they are.
The older generation is actually too busy hating on the younger generation.
Yeah, that's the problem right now. That's the problem. So now it's like a disconnect. So now it's like, why would I listen? Because now you're getting a bunch of stubborn people. So it's like, why would I listen to? And that's why it's like, imagine if like Carmelo just had it in him to be a mentor. Yeah. Like if he went to like Ja, if he had it in him to do that, would Ja like that's Carmelo Anthony? I'm gonna listen to him. If like Allen Iverson reached out, Ja would listen to him. Like these are the people you can't like Steven Adams. He's cool, he's older, but if he tells Ja to start doing something, it's like
you're 29. Like, that's it.
I'm gonna listen to Steven Adams. Like no, I'm not listening to that.
Same thing with the Rockets. I'm not listening to Frank Kaminsky.
Exactly. Like you gotta have people there who like they can relate to and really look at and be like, okay, this is somebody who's done it before at a high level. They came up like me. We have stuff in common. You're gonna be more likely to listen to that guy. So like if an AI, somebody like that, I feel like that would be the perfect mentor. Like Allen Iverson reaching out to John Morant, I feel like that could really, really work.
Because AI did say he sees a lot of himself in Ja.
And you know, Ja being a young guy, you know he looked up to Allen Iverson. Like that's one of those guys, like a Kobe and an Allen Iverson back then. Those were like the real culture
and that's where
shifters.
This generation misses Kobe too.
Yeah.
He would not even hesitate to reach out to these younger players. Like Jason means the world to him.
Yeah.
So, it comes down to it. You gotta get the older guys in there.
Yeah. I feel like they perfectly kind of balance the team, make it flow. They're a big part of a reason why a team actually succeeds in the first place.
Well, with Ja, just lay off the young boy. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Just lay off.
shut that parade down. The parade inside my city can stop. Let's just Taylor Swift. She makes some good music. Ariana Grande.
Country music too, man. I think we need to try that a little bit.
Check it out.
Country music.
Hey.
Listen to old school R&B. To do some
Play some Michael Jackson. It's something. Play some Frank Sinatra. Just calm down.
I know the Miami Heat in their locker room be listening to old school R&B. I just know.
Yeah,
they do.
Jimmy Butler,
Kyle Lowry. I just know they do.
This is like some Run DMC, something. Just
like
Will Smith.
Old school rap, just like who's some good options?
Nah.
Damn.
I couldn't even suggest it, but go to the internet, Google some, John.
Listen to lo-fi music, something. Just not
something like that.
You do not have to be NBA young boy. Just leave it alone. It's okay. Just stop. Just take a little break.
Outcast. There you go.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All that. Just leave the other stuff alone. That's not the life you want. You are getting paid millions. Don't ruin it.
Hey man, if I was getting paid millions of dollars, if I was getting paid millions of dollars, I wouldn't even have social media, dog.
Almost $180 million. Do you know You know what I'll do to get $180 million?
That is like
go that far.
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's generational. Like that's generational wealth. Like, and that's just off of one contract. If he's gonna stay in the league longer than how much longer does he have on this contract?
Like he has about 2 years. And plus, because of this situation, he missed out on the All NBA selection. And if he would have got that, he
could have got the Supermax. Like you are missing out on a lot of money for IG Live.
$30 million.
To be honest, you don't even gotta stop listening. Just stop doing. Leave IG Live alone. Just leave it alone. And the messed up part is, like something I saw about the whole situation. Not even to reignite the whole thing, because we almost were about to move on from it. But it's going back. I saw like they're all talking about, he unfollowed his friend he was on IG Live with. That was his one good friend that tried to take the camera off of him.
Exactly.
Right once he saw the gun, he moved it right back. Like the fact that your friends are like smarter about this than you are.
Right.
You could have did anything else. Throw up. They don't even care about gang signs. You want to be like
DeMar DeRozan be throwing them
gang sign. If it's that
DeMar DeRozan, like he legit grew around it.
Yes.
And he
if it like
it.
So you had to do all of like you. That means you went that far. It's that it just has to be the gun. We can't. What happened to peace signs? What happened to waves?
You feel me?
We can't just dance or something. Like it just has to be holding up the gun.
Right.
It just has to be that. Anything else, and you would have been fine. He just was on suspension.
Right.
You like it has to be the gun on IG Live. You can do it anytime else. Anytime. Well, probably not now. You messed up on that chance. They probably gonna make you not be able to own a gun, messing around with the NBA. But before that, you could have done anything else, and you saved yourself millions and millions of dollars. A 10-second mistake, not even on the last one. That was like a 1 second. It was like on and off instantly. It was 2 seconds for millions of dollars. Because he's not getting paid while he's on leave. He's on unpaid leave.
So he's on paid leave. So for the 25 games, I believe he's gonna miss out on I think $50 million.
Oh my!
I mean, he really don't care though. I mean, he grew up in Rome, so I mean, him just adding more money.
That's just like
it's crazy to say, but
his NBA contract, but he still got these endorsement deals. Nike's keeping them.
Yeah. I mean, you can't let go. He's still too marketable.
He's too marketable and too
marketable.
That's why they ain't letting him go.
But it's just like
that's why it's a lot different than the Kyrie situation.
Yeah.
Because people keep bringing up, Ja, he waved a gun on IG Live, and Kyrie lost his deal because he shared a link.
Okay, that's a great question.
What did the link consist of?
Which one do you think is worse? Which one do you think is worse?
The Kyrie situation.
Kyrie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he shared an anti-Semitic link.
And that's not even like a United States thing. That's like a worldwide problem.
Right. You know what I mean? I can agree with that.
So
That's not even a point where I'm about to fake a hot take. That's easily. I just wanted to ask just because it came up. But yeah, with Ja, it's just like, imagine the type of life you have to live to where you're fine with missing out on millions to wave a gun. That's why the older generation hates on them. How much money do you have to where if you're missing out on millions and millions, you just don't care?
Right.
Or if you care, it's like, oh no, my Supermax, no. But this young boy though, this gun though, y'all gotta see it again. Y'all gotta see it a second time. Like I think that's why the game is getting so messed up. Of course, I believe the players earn it. If you're bringing that much money in, because they're getting millions, that means the owners and whatnot, they're getting billions.
Right.
So if you're bringing in that much money, you deserve to see a lot of it. I'm not going to say the players don't deserve to be paid like that. But when you're making that much money, your morals start to get clouded. Because now it's like, that's fuck you money at a young age. He's 23 years old and he could retire today and never have to do anything again.
And that's the dream. That's the dream.
Already. So you get that. And now it's like, why would you ever be responsible? And I think this is going to become more and more and more common. I mean, matter of fact, you guys weren't doing this podcast. I don't even know if you guys covered this or not at all. But with Mikey Williams shooting at people's cars and whatnot.
We do cover basketball. So.
Yeah. I wasn't tapped in at the time, so I probably missed it. But like with Mikey Williams, he did he go to, like, what happened to him? I didn't see what like happened with it.
So with Mikey, I believe he was set to go to Memphis. Then he got caught.
Of course, Memphis.
Yep, Memphis. Yep, pretty much. Then he got caught with this. Believe it was the firearm count. I think he lost his scholarship too. So.
Yeah. And he was like shooting. He was actually shooting at somebody too.
I believe it was
allegedly. But this is the stuff like with all these young guys who are getting rich young. Now, like, imagine being young and wild with fuck you money now. Yeah. Like, you're just gonna do stuff that's just dumb, and the people around you, they're not gonna be your real friends. They're not gonna have your best interest for you, so they're gonna allow you to do these things. And now you're being influenced, and now you have the money to act on these influences. If me right now today, I got influenced by Young Boy's music, what can I do with that? I can't do anything, and I have no influence with anybody else to where I get caught for doing anything. Right. But now you're like a Mikey Williams, a John Morant. That episode is really going to get these players caught up more and more and more often. So now it's going to be a whole other thing you got to scout for. Now when you scouting, what you got to look through they recently listened to. You got to look through they IG, that type of stuff, because it's a whole new layer to the game that never had to be accounted for before.
Yep, and that's why I'm saying, like, Ja and these players, they're ruining it for the upcoming players. Because now... Because like what you said, they finna that Spotify playlist. They finna looking at your IG your Twitter likes. They finna look at everything now.
And if I was NBA, I just ban IG Live. To be honest, I just ban it.
At this point, I don't think there's such thing as shut up and dribble. That can't happen.
Honestly, the NBA does not want to, like, because if they were to do it, people are going to look at it as like this is a shut up and dribble type of situation.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Sometimes
it's better for some of these players to shut up and dribble.
Some people, not everybody.
Absolutely true.
Talking.
Absolutely true.
Right. So, like,
some
people
in
terms of politics and stuff like that, let's not get into that. But like,
of, like,
with these IG Live and with the guns and stuff, sometimes you need to, like, shut up and work on your game.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of stuff. Ja, you need to be worrying about hitting dunks instead of hitting licks, buddy.
Right.
How about that? You focus.
Game a little bit.
Worrying about the wrong type of shots, man.
Make it to the finals, man. Make it to the finals, Ja.
Right. You haven't even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And you've been
Western Conference
Finals. And you've been a top 3 seed the last 2 years.
Yeah, so worry about beating the Warriors, Ja. You ain't even do that yet.
got beat by a 7 seed playing team this year.
Almost lost to the Timberwolves. We know how Timberwolves get down.
Man, that's such a disappointment. I'm just these young guys in the league. Me being this much younger than you, and I already can know what's right and wrong. That's why I have no remorse for them. To be honest,
I don't either.
I can't feel bad. You're too rich. You should be smart enough. Your brain should be developed enough to know there's some things. Even after the first time I can say, you know what? Benefit of the doubt, he'll never do it. Doing it again, that unnecessarily. The other one, it just so happened to be that.
He lied to the NBA commissioner along with that too. So
like that's just crazy. I can't imagine it. I can't.
Why is his dad not talking to him? No, his dad is in his life enough to be like, Ja.
That's a grown man. At the end of the day, that's the other thing I didn't like. On Twitter, I saw people talking about his dad. To me, that's a grown ass.
That's true, but like going back to the LaMelo Ball situation.
As your father, you should definitely like.
I'm saying.
But like still, you are a grown ass man. It's up to you to know. Like you you way too rich to be doing stupid ass shit like this.
We said the same thing about LaMelo though. I mean, LaMelo. I feel like as it is on camera, I feel like Ja and T have a great connection, like LaMelo and LeVar. So why isn't, you feel me? But maybe the morals are different.
Well, LeVar, he's always been like about his business though. That's LeVar's thing. Like he's always been people, which is why I never understood people trying to call LeVar bad dad. That's a whole different conversation.
He's actually great dad, amazing dad.
He's always been on his stuff. Yeah, people thought he was bad dad because he hyped up his son. Every
if that was you, would have hyped up your own son.
Exactly.
Talk about you to hype up your own son.
Do you know how much it made me happy seeing a black man? Black man being this happy about his son in the public.
The craziest part is he was right. He was right too.
All his sons could have made the NBA. If we're being real, all his sons could have made the NBA.
But LiAngelo, hey, he had a stupid decision too.
Your worst son being G League level. That being the worst one.
That's being the worst one. He could literally be in the league if that did not happen.
That's true.
I could live with that.
And the other two were like, weren't they both top 3 picks?
Both top 3. Lonzo was a great rotational player.
Lonzo was 2. Like
LaMelo.
Lonzo is actually a very good player, but I'm afraid he may not ever play again because
his injury.
This knee injury.
Yeah.
This is bad.
But yeah, so that's why I'm like with the dad stuff. But at the end of the day, like even though we know LeVar is like this, we still know LaMelo. He's a grown man. He's gonna do what he does, so that he's still acting the way he acts. So like I said before, if he was like this at a younger age, now he's older with more financial freedom as well. What can his dad really tell him? He can talk to him, but if you have it in your head, I'm not listening to you, what can you do? You can't put him on punishment. He's a grown-ass man. You just got to be like, hey, handle your business. If you mess it up, you mess it up. So that's why I'm like, I can't feel bad.
You can't put him in the no more. All you got to do is to him, but it's up to him. Damn shame.
We'll figure it out.
We sound like
hopefully,
but we sound
right. Young OGs, man.
Let's transition. We dived into that real good. Let's transition. Let me think of the topic.
The last one was I'm looking at the topic things that you sent us right now. The last one was the biggest questions heading into the off season.
Hold up, I'll be right back. All
right.
We'll still move forward. Biggest question heading into this off season. Netello, let's start with you. Netello, what you got?
I'd say biggest question is the uncertainty of where everybody's going to be, for sure. I feel like this season more than off season, a lot of people are available to get picked up, and a lot of like game changing moves, and like players are on the like available for like teams that want to get into contention and all that stuff right there. So I feel like that's a big question.
I feel like I agree with, at least with recently this year, like it's under the radar with some players, but there's a lot of big name players who are on the table. Zion's up for grabs.
Yep.
Trey Young, there's been rumors.
Yep.
Damian Lillard,
Dame Lillard.
Jalen Brown.
Brown.
I
The
feel like Jalen Brown
76ers
is.
got to do something. The 76ers got to do something.
Yeah, James
It,
Harden. James Harden.
so Harden, oh yeah, Harden for sure. He's been in rumors and whatnot. Kyrie Irving, we don't know where he's about to go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ayton, he's a big name, but like in the sense of like people like he's relatively big to where he's like in theory he should be all-star level. So that's another name. Ayton's a big trade. Rumors guy. Who else has been on a lot of trade rumors? Well, now Middleton's been in some.
Middleton's been
Yeah, I was gonna say Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez are player options.
Yeah, Brooks a free agent.
Drew Holiday will probably be in some time goes on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of guys where it's like at least notable names where it's like these guys are up for grabs and some moves need to be made.
No clue what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I actually I have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
Honestly, the 76ers, the 76ers and Celtics are teams that I'm really looking at to really shake things up.
Yeah.
Because depending on what happens,
shake things up.
Yeah.
He can't be. Nah. If you want to win a chip, don't go with James Harden.
I know it's ridiculous to say, and it's like super like fantasy world 2K stuff. But say you're the GM of the 76ers, like you have full control. Are you looking at Joel Embiid and being like, what can we do?
Not yet.
Wow.
Not yet.
Now let me tell you something.
Not after winning MVP, but in like a few years, he keeps choking in the playoffs.
If the playoff disappointments continue,
So like 2 more years of still choking. 2 more years of still choking.
TikTok, but I don't think Philly's gonna do this. Someone suggested that the 76ers should trade Joel Embiid for the number 1 overall pick this year to get Wemby. That is not happening. But nah.
If you're the Spurs, do you even do that?
I would not actually.
I don't think I do that at all.
I believe, even though Embiid's an MVP player, Wemby's ceiling is a lot higher.
Crazy.
Like,
and you know what Embiid is in the playoffs already.
Wemby has. I don't say this about players, but he has GOAT potential.
Yeah.
He has GOAT potential. When you look at his skills, you see his physical tools. I would like to see him buff up a little bit because you're gonna be the tallest little man out there, though.
Yeah.
He's like 190 soaking wet.
Can I get my random hater take off? Like random hate.
Go ahead.
And this is like nothing. I actually have absolutely zero against him.
Okay.
But there's a part of me, a bigger part of me that I like to admit that I hope that Wembanyama's a bust. Here's why. Okay. The whole tank culture, I hate that. I hate tank culture. Same with the Thunder. I feel like the Thunder are about to be another team like the 76ers were. I don't think they're actually going to be able to get anything done. They have all these picks. They're doing nothing with it. And they're just tanking for no reason. Yeah. And all these other like the Mavericks tanking out of the playoffs when they could have made the play-in. They could have did it and they just tanked out of it. Like I hate that. You know, I feel like tank culture. I feel like people should have learned from the 76ers. That stuff, I think it's really, really, really overrated. And I think the Wembanyama, as obviously as teams have been tanking, I think this is what it takes to show teams it might be time to stop.
I think that's a possibility, but I think Greg Popovich is probably the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm just saying that's like my random, unprovoked hater take where I'm just like, if that would be so funny if that happened after all these teams, all these people, all this hype doing this. Because all these people, like I said before, like Zion, all these other people, we keep seeing these early draft picks. They get all this hype, get to the league, and then it's like crickets. Like I'm not seeing anything. And as much as I like one of them to finally come through, because I think this era is one of those where it's scary, like I said before, because like once LeBron and Curry and them retire, every other era, you kind of saw who was next up.
Mm-hmm.
This era is one where it's like,
Like
I don't know.
you
I
see
really don't know.
Talents who's next up, but when you
Yeah.
look into
But
it,
like, who's the real next face for real?
right?
And I'm just like, at some point, these early picks got to work out. But this is one of them. I'm like, this could really end tank culture if somehow Wemby just doesn't pan out after everybody tanked so aggressively for him.
Mhm.
It's like at some point teams will look and be like, maybe this isn't quite worth it. I'm also not big for teams just being like holding like teams like the Trailblazers just holding on for too long.
Yeah,
That's not even like a tank situation. That's just like a normal. It's a difference between a tanking and a rebuild.
Yeah, yeah.
Tanking is when you could actually do something to get better, but you're actively choosing to stay bad in hopes that you'll just draft like a LeBron or something.
Yeah.
I hate that. I really, really don't like that. Like the Thunder, they have all those picks. They could easily trade for somebody and go and try. They have Shea. They could go and try to win now if they wanted to. But they're so insistent on tanking and tanking and tanking and not doing any. And what I hate about it is they don't even like trade up or anything. They're tanking and like getting like the 19th pick every time. Like it's like
they use the picks and get these players. They use the picks. They don't trade or anything.
it's just like that whole culture. I hate it. I just don't like seeing it. I'm all for rebuilding. I'm all for knowing when it's time to give up. That's there's something to be said for a team that can look at their team and be like, okay, it's time to restart. Like the Nets, they looked at it, it's like, okay, it's time to blow this up. Let's just restart. That's not tanking. That's starting a rebuild, actually looking at the future and building something.
Yeah.
But teams like the Rockets, I don't even know if you call that tanking, but like they're just not doing anything. They're just like losing and losing for the sake of losing and just the hopes of one of you guys will just come here and just save the day. I hate that. So I part of me is just like, Wembanyama fails and shows the world that let's actually try to be a little bit smarter and give ourselves and our fans a little bit more credit. Imagine being a fan of a tanking organization that doesn't do anything. That's why Sixers fans are so mean to their stars. We tanked all this time for Ben Simmons, and he did nothing with it. I feel like it's making everything more toxic. The mentalities are all messed up. Imagine being, and then also look at the players. How do you think the other Spurs players are actually going to treat Wembanyama now?
Well,
you got to look at it like that. People have egos. People have egos. Think about being on a team. It's like, oh yeah, you guys go out there, and we're just going to lose for him. He's going to save all the rest of you guys because you guys can't do it. We need him to come in and save the day.
Well,
imagine what that locker room's like. I know personally, I'm like, what can he do? Like, is he like God or something? Like, who is he?
I'm back. What we talking about?
We're talking about tanking and Wembanyama right now.
yeah.
Tanking. I mean, shit. Spurs did they thing. Can you really be mad at them?
Well, here's the thing. Spurs tanked for 1 year. There's a difference. I believe what they did, they targeted tanked. There's a difference between tanking and targeted tanking. Tanking is when you decide to be awful for multiple seasons, hire all this draft picks, and then you.
We talking about the Thunder,
like the Thunder, the Sixers with the process, like.
Oh my God, we can process.
No, the Thunder are really killing tanking though. Like, I don't look at it like they really have like. No, they're killing it. No, they're killing it. No, like if Chet is actually good and Chet stays healthy, they kill tanking.
Like here's the thing: if Chet turns out to be great, the tanking, I think, is succeeded. I would think.
Okay, and that's actually a fair coin flip. The Thunder and the Spurs are going to be the two teams that. Because here's Rodney, what you missed was I said my random hater take. My random hater take is that I kind of part of me hopes that Wembanyama is a bust just to prove that tanking isn't worth it.
Wow.
Just to prove that tanking isn't worth it. I think that it is all going to fall on the Spurs and the Thunder to really prove once, because Philly already failed. They failed badly. They haven't even made it past the second round in this whole process once.
I feel like the Thunder will make the playoffs next year. I think the Thunder will make the playoffs next year.
With tanking, my thing is, if you're tanking, you need to be your aspirations is not making the playoffs. It's not making the conference. It's a championship. You're doing this to build a dynasty with a bunch of great players. That's what they do it for, to get a bunch of like top picks and hope that one of them pans out. That's what you're looking for. If you don't, and honestly, one championship might be setting my bars too low at this point. The 76ers were just so sad that I'm like, at this point, just somebody
haven't made a conference finals yet.
Yes, I'm just like somebody who take this win to prove that it works. Like, I don't like that all these teams just kind of accepted that this is just the way when it never worked. All the teams that worked, it's people who develop. Giannis, Jokic, those are homegrown. Those teams didn't tank. They were naturally, they were rebuilding.
The Jokic fell in their lap. It was a second round pick.
Yeah.
It's the greatest steal in NBA draft history. But Giannis was a 15th pick, and he was a project player.
Like, look at the top players in the league, and really look at how many of them are like really like top like 3 draft picks.
Yeah.
Look at the top 10.
Giannis was 15th. Jokic was a second round pick drafted at a Taco Bell commercial.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Curry wasn't top
2 pick though, and B was a top 2.
Okay,
Curry
that's one.
Pick.
KD, LeBron,
KD was 2. Bron was 1.
JT, JT.
3.
Wasn't D-Book like 10, or am I tripping?
I'm talking like top 3, because you can get 10 without like tanking. I'm talking about like top 3 picks.
Yeah, well, so top 3
like
picks,
Fox.
You got Embiid. You got.
Was it Fox top 3? Or is he 3?
I think he.
Let me go look.
Because he was picked behind Lonzo.
I mean,
he was 3.
Look at like the last few years of top.
He was 5.
Lots of them have not been doing anything. Lots of them have been busts, fails.
Who have been like, yeah, you're right.
So it's like
LaMelo.
All this. What has LaMelo done so far?
I feel like LaMelo. Well, I can't speak for LaMelo.
Have they made LaMelo there yet? Have they?
No, they've made no. Well, I feel like they haven't done the. Yeah, I feel like the Hornets have not been able to build around LaMelo, but also going back to what you said earlier, I feel like as a tanking thing, this is the Thunder's year to prove that tanking actually works. Mm-hmm. Chet's going to come back healthy. Mm-hmm. They have Dart, they have Jalen Williams, other Jalen Williams, Shea, Giddey. Like, I feel like with that team, how good, like, quote, the potential for all these players. Good. I forgot about Pokey, the 7 foot dude. Like, I feel like this is their year to be 6 or 5 in the West. Like, the Warriors are probably out. I don't know if the Kings probably repeat that season they just had. I
don't think they repeat the season, but they'll make their way back in the
playoffs.
Yeah. So I feel like it's realistic for the Thunder to be 5th seed in the West. I feel like that is a realistic 5, 6. That is a realistic spot they can actually be in to prove that taking it right.
Once again, is 5th seed? Does that really prove that tanking work? Are you tanking for a 5th seed?
This isn't really the year.
I guess it takes more time.
It takes a little bit more time because they only have one guy who is like probably championship level ready in Shea.
And even still, was that a product of them tanking necessarily?
No, they did trade.
That was a Paul George trade.
Wasn't it kind of what? Didn't they get it? Didn't they get a pick out of that trade though?
But Shea wasn't picked from that. We're talking about if the one guy, the one guy they actually drafted. That's not a product of tanking. That's a product of just making trades and just development. That's normal. Like that's what I was saying. It's a very different. There's a very distinct difference between tanking and rebuilding. The Nets right now, they're not tanking, they are rebuilding. That's very different. I have no problem with rebuilding. Rebuilding teams, that's just something that's going to happen if you're not good enough to make it. I'm all for teams like the Trailblazers saying, hey, let's give up and rebuild. Not let's give up and let's be bad over and over and over and over. Keep trying to get these top 3 picks or top 5, like these top lottery picks, and just pray that somebody works out. I think there's a real problem with the way the players are scouted, and I think there's a real problem with the way that the culture around top picks really just is. The fact that there's this many players who are not working out and is not living up to expectations. If you tank for somebody, you're tanking for somebody to save your team. That's what that is. These players are looked at as like saviors. Zion, People forget he's been gone all this time, but his hype was like, this is going to be a guy like that's a savior level player. Victor Wembanyama, you look at him like that's going to save your team. So you're tanking for somebody to save the team. I don't care if you're a fifth seed. I don't care if you're a playoff team. I'm looking for championships.
Oklahoma City hasn't tanked for a player where they looked at as they're going to save the team.
I feel like they're getting like a whole bunch of like pieces.
That's why I can't give them credit for their tanking. Like, what are they really tanking for?
I feel like they're tanking for like rotational. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like
superstar, but like if the one superstar falls in their lap,
they're gonna be happy. But I feel like their main target is to build around Shea and hope that Shea and Chet can be like the cornerstones of their franchise.
Yeah, because remember they started the tanking process after Chris Paul left for that 1 year. So that's when it all started.
I don't know. Of course, these players are still young.
What pick do they have, actually? What pick do the Thunder have?
I think they have a top 10 pick this year.
And that's what they're doing this for like the 15th pick over and over. You're picking like 14. Why are we doing trade all these first round picks and win now? Stop. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't like that. They have the ability. They have the ability.
They have with all of these picks they have.
They can go get a superstar player.
They should be in like the fact that the Thunder are in every single trade rumor. The fact that Jaylen Brown is not like, is he a Thunder? Is he like the fact that these
be in a Thunder uniform today?
This is what I'm saying. Like the fact that these are not real conversations that are going on is a problem for me because I think that these teams are not valid. Here's the truth behind it, and this is why I say I hope not hope, but a part of me, a little hater bit in me, for the sake of the league, hopes it is. Because I think a lot of these teams, like the Pistons and all these other teams, they're content with just being horrible forever. They don't care about winning.
Speaking of the Pistons, they're doing a horrible job tanking, by the way.
I think that a lot of these teams are fine with just making money.
The Pistons just hired Monty Williams. I don't know if they want to, and I don't think Monty want to rebuild.
Like, looking at this team, like, Killian Hayes.
Cade Cunningham's another top pick who...
No, Cade, no, Cade slander. No Cade slander. No Cade slander. 17 points, 5 assists, like, no Cade slander.
Paulo
Cade slander. I don't know. Cade is nice. He's doing like for his role and what he's supposed to do, and like him as a player. Cade is not really a scorer. Like getting 17 from Cade and 6 assists. I'm happy. That's what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, Mason, the reason why you haven't seen much is because he was injured for the entirety of
this is true. This is true. That's why I can't put too much stock into it. But I'm just saying, like these names. A lot of these top pick guys are coming out to just be like they're like all-star cool level players. But if you're picked number 1, number 2, number 3, if you're top 3, that means you were like arguable for like top 1 or like you are a top guy. These in theory should be the cream of the crop. These should be the guys who are coming in. And Marvin Bagley was a top 3 pick.
Please, let's not talk about Marvin Bagley.
Bagley, where is he at now? Is he in the league? What team is he
on the Pistons. He's on the Pistons.
Marvin Bagley wasn't he picked before Luka and Trey?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, it's overrated to get these top picks. I
got a question though. Why the Cade slander though? I feel like Cade has done his job. I feel like
I'm slandering him like that. He just happened to be a victim of the agenda. I actually have nothing against Cade. He's too young. He didn't get a real chance to show himself. I'm not gonna slander him.
I mean, I feel like he's showing them. I mean, I'm looking at stats right now. I think I read the wrong stats. He's averaging 20 points per game on 6 rebounds, 6 assists. I feel like that's good for his role. Jaden Ivey's supposed to be coming in as a scorer. They drafted Jalen Duran. These are good, solid pieces. They have Wiseman. I mean, Bagley played okay this season. Not good for where he got drafted. But
I'll leave Cade alone. I'll leave Cade alone for now. Like I said, I'll give these players a little bit more time to really see. But all I'm saying is, in recent history, what have these top picks been really doing? Marvin Bagley? Is he even a starter?
Well, here's the that was he was drafted by the Kings. And they weren't tanking. They were trying to play
Ayton,
awful.
DeAndre Ayton, he was top 3.
Let's not talk about DeAndre Ayton, man. DeAndre Ayton
First
is
pick,
First pick.
DeAndre Ayton. Ooh, has he been an All-Star yet? No.
No.
First overall pick.
Has not made an All NBA team yet.
Nothing. And this is what I'll be looking at. So I'm like, why do these teams for Victor Wembanyama? So I'm not gonna give the Spurs too much slack for that because they did that for Victor. But that's what I'm saying. If Victor Wembanyama doesn't work out, it's gonna be an eye opener for a lot of teams. Ideally, that is like, okay, maybe we're going about this the wrong way. I don't like teams that is like, because then the other thing with this tanking thing is now once you get the great player, who's on the team with them? You spent all that time being bad. You didn't develop anybody. You didn't get anybody good, and now you just now they're just there.
That's how the Spurs are.
They end up not doing anything that great. Now it's like, oh, is he not that good? That how bad media is because now Victor Wembanyama, he's going to come in the league. All these teams tanked for you. You have no choice but to be LeBron now. Yeah. This is the culture that we're developing. This is how the NBA stays toxic.
But this Wemby hype
by doing all this.
It's bigger than Zion's. It's on the LeBron level.
Yeah.
It's on the LeBron level.
Can you imagine how much pressure's on Victor right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I kind of feel bad for the kid, you know?
Yeah.
There's people in the media saying if he turns out to be Akeem Olajuwon, he's
Akeem Olajuwon is crazy.
So imagine coming into the league. You might as well just not play. That means if you're not the GOAT, you failed.
If you're not the face of the next NBA.
LeBron conversation, you're worthless. That's basically what they said.
So now, so now he has to go out there with that on his mental every time he's playing. That's
he playing with Pop.
That's the way that people are looking at him. I mean, he is in a great situation to succeed with all things. Greg Popovich knows how to make a good big man.
Yeah, Popovich,
he knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. So he's in a good situation. But I'm just saying the culture around this type of stuff, it's a really toxic atmosphere. And not even if you're set up with all that, I don't know what Victor's like mentally. I don't know if he's mentally strong enough. All these type of things can lead a player to crack under that pressure and just not end up doing what they need to do. Ben Simmons is a good example. Yep. He had a lot of Magic, LeBron comparisons, play style wise. And now when people are treating you that way, people are going to get more angry when you don't do good. It leads to you being more likely to bust because of off the court reasons. And that's what I'm saying. The whole culture around it, I just want that to be over with.
I'm glad that you bring that up, though.
Something wrong with tanking.
I'm glad you bring that up, though, because I feel like if the Spurs did not have the number 1 pick and if some other team had it, I would think Victor would be a bust.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
I do not
think
he's going to succeed in Charlotte.
Mm-mm.
I think in Portland.
Mm-mm.
Who else is there?
Willie and Dame could be nice. Their management is incompetent, though. That's the other thing with these tanking teams. They always have. That's why it never works. Because for a team to be in a position to tank, a team that's management is okay with tanking is a team that's management is okay with being bad. And when you build a culture around losing, you breed a bunch of losers, which is why Joel Embiid, a loser. Ben Simmons was a loser. All these players are coming in and DeAndre Ayton is a loser. All these players are coming in, they are losers because that's the mentality around it. You lose for so long, now you expect all these players to become like, oh, we can help contend for championships with this player.
Right.
How does that ever work? It just doesn't make sense. The whole idea of tanking, like that type of stuff can only work in like a 2K world where like all these off the court factors don't count. If it was just a perfect world where it's just like they just go out there and he's a 99 overall, he's just gonna do what he does. Okay, that's just what it is. But realistically, when you breed a culture, when you have a losing culture, I think the Pistons are going to be like bad for a long time. Just because the culture around them, if you never know that you can win, how are you ever going to be able to win?
Well, I think they're kind of trying to change that with Monty Williams being the head coach. And
Possibly.
Things have looked up because they do have now a 2-year GM.
Mm.
Because they brought in the new GM to kind of orchestrate the tank/rebuild.
Yeah.
So,
but I have like more faith in like the Orlando Magic than these other teams because the Magic is a team. I don't think they tanked. They're a team that I think was just rebuilding.
Yeah,
they weren't like overly like tanking. They traded away Vucevic once they realized that wasn't working out. Yeah. They got picks and they just like have been building up players. They got what's his face? They revitalized Markelle Fultz. Yep. What was Markelle Fultz picked at? Now I'm thinking about it.
Number 1, I think.
You see what I'm like?
I mean, let's no Markelle slander, please. No,
I'm not slandering Markelle Fultz. I'm saying, well, you see, once he went from a team that was like outwardly tanking, and Philly was so flagrant about it too. That was the nastiest part about it. They were so flagrant about it,
encouraging the fans to embrace it.
Yeah. And that's what the whole team culture, when you build up a culture of losing, at some point it's going to breed a toxic atmosphere either in the locker room or from the fan perspective. Because at some point you get tired of your team being okay with losing. That's what I'm saying. Imagine being a fan of like Philly during that time, or even especially during now. You mean tell me we did all that not for a championship, multiple championships? We want to see, like, once you do that, you are setting in stone. It's championship or bust. And then you get your players in there, and if they're not mentally strong, it's over with. Because what can they do? Embiid's a crybaby. Eventually, he's going to crack. Eventually, these MVPs and whatnot, these 76ers fans are going to eat him alive at some point. I mean, and it's going to be bad.
Already started because they see what Jokic did in this postseason. That's why they're upset.
Because last time they got to throw Ben Simmons under the bus.
It's time for Embiid to go under the bus, man.
Hey man, we're looking at you now.
It's all on you. And plus James Harden, he leaving after this year. Ain't no way he's Philly. It's now on you now. You. And plus Doc Rivers got fired.
It's all on you now.
It's on you.
All the scapegoats are going at some point. So this is what happens when you like build that type of culture around it. It's just a bad like storm that forms around tanking. It just affects so many different areas of the sports and media, the locker room, fans, team culture, all this type of stuff. Long-lasting effects that are just bad for the league. Just bad for the league. Yeah. And I think it needs to stop.
I agree with that.
And I think there's a chance for it to stop, which is why nothing against Wembanyama. I actually hope you have a great career. Go out and be the next Jordan. Go out and be that. The league needs that. But if you don't, we got to start having some real conversations.
Yeah, because I do believe the narrative on tanking would change if Wemby fails. I would say that. The narrative would probably change. So now we've actually completely shifted from the question. So the question was, what was our biggest question heading into the off season?
Our biggest question?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of fits. Will Wemby work out?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that fits.
Yeah.
That fits.
That's the biggest question.
Great job. Yeah, pretty much. Mine was probably, would the Lakers actually run it back?
I don't think the Lakers should run it back. I don't think so.
They have to.
Like a full training camp with them? Because that team was like completely...
They have no choice but to. What moves can they realistically make?
And plus
they're not trading LeBron. They're not trading AD.
Right. And plus, with the new CBA, I don't think they want to get Kyrie.
Actually, they have no option but to run it back. It might be good because Austin Reeves did not progress.
They're like the Warriors in that sense, but they have a better future than the Warriors.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves, Jim Vanderbilt,
Rui Hachimura.
They don't have to.
Rui. They can do that. Those players step up. I like Rui steps up more. So step up a little bit more. They can win the finals.
I feel like
from Max Christie too.
Yep.
All the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers' main focus is off season should be finding themselves a shooter, a consistent shooter that's going to get them those easy 3 points every time, and then I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, basically, if you ask me.
My problem is though.
Also, kind of create their own shots, not just pure spot up shooters.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that could be Austin Reeves though. I feel like that could be Austin Reeves.
Yeah,
it could be. It could be.
They probably would need another one too. Probably at the point guard position too.
But here's my thing with the Lakers though. Well, the problem with the Lakers is, at the end of the day, they're still a relatively old team, at least, and they're a top-heavy team. So you got to look at it like this. This postseason especially, we saw LeBron. This is the first time we saw him actually look like there was a lot of times he was starting to look like just like a regular small forward. He's looking a lot
but
more.
I feel like LeBron during this playoffs was more of a playmaker. He put his team in position to win. But like his team didn't make shots sometimes.
Now, here's the problem though: the Lakers rely on him. Anthony Davis hasn't taken that step forward as the guy yet. He just hasn't done it. He has moments. He has guy moments, but then he goes back and drops 4 the next game or something stupid. That's why
I was saying like Rui or like D'Lo needs to take a little bit more steps forward because Rui's young. How old is Rui? Rui is
early 20. Like 20.
But here's my problem.
When we 25.
When we say run it back, what are the expectations? So lose to the Nuggets again? Because that's just what's going to... Realistically, I think the Nuggets are in a great predicament to where the rest of the West is just like...
they have to catch up.
Because the entire West is uncertain, but...
Yeah, and we know what Denver's going to be. We know what Denver is. And everyone knew who had a brain. When Jokic won those back-to-back MVPs, it was for a reason. His best players were all gone. We see what Jamal Murray is. He's proven himself. He was in my top 20 players. He's like that. But he showed he's
always been like that. He's always been like that.
He's been like that.
Been like that.
Because he was injured, like they just forgot.
MPJ,
everybody knows he's like that. MPJ, he's a bucket getter. Yeah. That's all. Lord knows that's all he does.
KCP, man.
But that's actually well put together team. And that's what I'm like. A lot of these teams, you look at the best teams in the league. It's not like I think the ages of like big threes and whatnot as like they used to be, where you just get like a few stars and just go out and just get buckets. I think that's actually Phoenix trying to do. I don't think Phoenix is going to be good at all. Like, they're going to be cool, but I don't think they're going to be like
their rotational pieces are just like terrible.
Could you imagine Phoenix winning the chip next year?
Nah, I couldn't imagine. No, their rotational pieces are just too bad. It's too dependent on superstars.
Like a super top heavy team, it's getting crumbled by these teams with deep rotations. And that's just what Denver has. Denver is by far the best team in the West to me right now.
Best team in the NBA.
Best team in the NBA.
The best team in the NBA, for sure.
Yeah.
Because they're the only team that does not have an uncertainty.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Probably the only team that don't really have a weakness. People say their defense is bad, but they play D.
Well enough.
Yeah, they play D good enough. So I mean,
the offense is so dominant. Is like
now that you say that, the only team in the NBA that probably doesn't have like a certain problem they need to fix right away, and that is like holding them back. So they probably the team in the NBA that does not have a weakness.
Because the Bucks and the Celtics right now, they got a lot of. If they can figure out the player situation, they'll be back in that conversation of like best teams in the NBA. Well, they'll still be in it regardless, but they have so many uncertainties. It's like, what will they look like? We know what Denver's going to look like, and we know that that's a championship level team. Everybody else in the league, to be honest, they're not like set. All the other contenders, they're all either like in question, or they were just frauds to begin with. Like, you could mess around and say, oh, it's KD and D-Book. They're contenders. They're not. That team is just not going to be able to get that done.
The Nuggets swept them up.
They're going to drop 30 points each. Oh, wow, that's cool. Then whoever they trade Ayton for, I don't even know what's going to go on with that. I didn't even think about that with them. So they're not even like their team's not set either. So every other team's in question. Denver's in a great place to start a dynasty. Realistically, an easy West.
I can see them winning. I can see them winning 2 more years in a row. I can see it.
I think they're gonna repeat.
I wouldn't be surprised. The teams in the East. That's what John Rant thought he was when he said we're fine in the West. The Denver Nuggets are actually fine with the West. There's nobody who can fuck with them right now. And also, you look at the West. There's no dominant other big man. AD, you wish he would be. In theory, he should be.
And then probably the second.
But we're expecting AD to get old. What is he, like 33, 32? He's up there. He's up there. We're expecting a 32-year-old to get better still, who's injury prone. At some point, we gotta stop being.
It's actually like something great that you brought up, because now we speak about bigs in the West. Rudy Gobert is probably a top 5, top 7 big in the West, which is bad.
Not good at all.
That's bad.
That's not good at all.
Think about it. It's like Jokic. Then who, like
AD.
I'm tweeting.
Now Jaren Jackson's actually 3. Jaren
Jackson's like 3, but even still, look at the East versus like Embiid, Giannis Embiid, and then like we got dominant, like we got bigs over there who, so nobody can stop Jokic. What are they about to do?
Yeah,
the only person who can fuck with Jokic is like AD.
To be honest, that like now we bring that up. I know, even though the T-Wolves, I know they gentlemen swept, but a couple of those games they were close a little bit, and the T-Wolves were probably the only team that really probably. I'm not gonna say the Suns and the Lakers and he didn't put up a fight, but like if we really want to talk about it, the T-Wolves probably put up the second most fight.
Gobert's probably one of those players who's like the best equipped to guard Jokic, even though it's impossible. Yes. Best is relative. Like, we held him to 32. Wow.
Honestly,
but like,
honestly, that was the big who actually guarded him best.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's the best equipped to give him trouble.
And that was the AC. That was the AC.
But Jokic
so basically
28, 10, and 8.
Exactly.
So you're basically relying on the Timberwolves stop, because we know AD, that's barbecue chicken.
The Timberwolves relied on the Timberwolves to stop the Nuggets.
Yes, so much. AD has so much potential, but it's just like he's getting older and older, and we're expecting him to still reach a new prime level that he hasn't reached before.
32 years old, potential should be out the door by now.
At some point, it's like he's just not that guy.
You should be in your prime or about to.
Yeah, he's just not that guy. So basically, you're just relying, and then on the other side, basically it's Giannis to stop him or bust, because it is like, and we all know Embiid's not getting there.
Embiid's not getting there. We seen what Bam did. We just seen what Bam did.
And then the Celtics, we don't know what. I don't think that's really.
Robert Williams, good, but I don't think enough.
Yeah, no. So it's basically Milwaukee to stop or bust, and that Denver isn't the best position.
Yep, the team that could beat the Denver is whoever has the answer to Jokic, and that has to be Giannis.
Yeah, that's essentially
the only team that I think it can match up with it, and I'd love to see that series.
Yeah,
I would
still say Nuggets in 6. I would still say Nuggets in 6.
Early 2024 NBA Finals prediction.
That would be mine too. Now we have a coach that hopefully doesn't have a mental deficiency.
Well, Adrian Griffin comes from the Nurse coaching tree, so that should be good.
Yeah, Nick Nurse's coaching style goes.
Where's Nick Nurse coaching now? Doesn't he have a new coaching coach?
He's with the Sixers though.
Yeah, he's with Sixers, so
that's actually very interesting.
Because
I'm not sure what that changed.
They actually hated each other at one point, so that's actually pretty interesting.
That's actually so interesting that they got Nick Nurse. Like that was like their rock. Oh, he was with Kawhi when they did.
Yeah, that was with Kawhi when they won.
How he Will Philly respond? I don't know. Joel Embiid being the diva he is, he was crying over that. I'm not sure.
I feel like Nick Nurse is a good head coach.
He's a great head coach. But once again, that's what that
Raptors a good team. It's still a really decent team. They just really have no guards. Like I always look at it, they have OG and another Barnes, Van Lee, Siakam. Probably 2 more people we're forgetting.
The guard play was a bit disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, it's always kind of been like kind of underperformed backcourt for like not shitting on Kyle Lowry, but I mean, is Kyle Lowry gonna go out there and get you 25 points a game? Right. No. Yeah, no. So I mean,
I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on this offseason. It's
gonna be good for sure. It's gonna be really interesting.
Definitely interesting. and also with the draft, I really like this draft class, even without Wemby. I actually really like this class.
You want to talk about it? We can talk about it.
I think this is.
We about to cover all the content in one episode, huh?
We low key, even though we are about to start producing some draft content starting.
Because how long we been on live for? We started. It's about to be 2.
About 2 hours.
Yeah,
It's about to be 2. When did we start? Like 11?
11.
It's been 3 of them things, ain't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's NBA talk. I can do this all day.
Well,
It is what it is.
honestly,
I'm just like,
I'm pretty sure this is our longest episode yet.
yeah.
I think this might be. I think this might be even longer than the live specials we had at Pius.
I mean, the conversations are flowing. So if y'all got more topics, then
Come on, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the prospects. I got time.
Let's talk about the draft a little bit.
Can we talk about one of the most? I feel like one of the most interesting prospects going to this draft is my pick, Arkansas guard Anthony Black.
I like him a lot. Yeah,
Anthony Black is good.
I like him.
Coming in, I've not been able to shoot the ball very well, but still a versatile guard, can defend well, can play make well. I feel like he would fit in with a great team. Probably I see him falling between like the 12 and like 7 range. Maybe the Wizards take him because Johnny Davis was a disappointment, or maybe actually that'd be Jazz, Anthony Black.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
I like that.
I think I did do a mock draft I released. I have to pull it up, but I don't remember why I had my phone somewhere else, so I don't feel like getting it.
And then we had I like Anthony Black in the Jazz uniform.
I like Anthony Black. My favorite prospect, well, outside of like Scoot and Wemby, I really like Cam Whitmore out of Villanova.
Yeah, I like Cam Whitmore. I like Cam Whitmore too.
Because I'm of the mindset I am never doubting a Villanova prospect. That's just me. I'm never doubting a Villanova prospect. Almost every Villanova prospect has been good. I think Mikal Bridges went to Villanova.
It's a lot of wings in this draft class. I don't really.
It is.
Like a lot of tall wings, like Andre Jackson from Connecticut. Grady Dick. I didn't even know Grady Dick actually committed for the draft. I did not know that.
It's supposed to be a lot of
Amar.
as well.
Bailey.
Yeah.
I don't think first. I don't think Amari Bailey. What do y'all think about Amari Bailey? Since we talked about that,
I really thought
I'm not so high on him.
he should have went another year.
Yeah, I'm not.
Went another year.
He should have waited.
I think Amari Bailey, he probably be a late first round.
Yeah, like between like 17 and like yeah, I feel like he should have waited another year.
Yeah.
Got in Money Bates in here, so I mean, it is a very deep draft class.
Also should have waited another year.
I forgot Terrence Jackson Davis. They're Lively, Oscar. I mean,
yeah, this draft class.
Tariq Whitehead from Duke. In there.
It's a great draft class.
Really deep. A lot of potential.
For real, a lot of potential.
Yeah. This draft class is stacked, and so is next year's.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
Brandon Miller, Chris Murray.
Yep. Keegan's twin. Yep.
Julian Strahler. Forgot about the Thompson twins. Sanogo from Connecticut. Jarcy Walker, Jordan Walsh. But I forgot about those two. Nah, this is crazy.
I know I have high hopes for Brandon Miller. I watched a lot of him in college. He's going to be good.
Nick Smith Jr.
I forgot. Also, I forgot about Jalen Wilson, Grady Dick partner in crime.
Oh, is he?
I forgot. Yes, I forgot about Jalen Wilson.
Damn, I didn't know that.
And he's a great player. Just doesn't shoot the ball very well, but great wing player for sure.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you draft bad in this draft class, man, I honestly don't know what to tell you. But you know, some team will always mess it up.
I don't know how you can screw up this class. I really like this class a lot. I don't think there's gonna be much. I mean, there's gonna be disappointments, but I don't think there's gonna be much in this class.
That's what I know. I know that's what I'm nervous about. I'm nervous about, like, yeah, some of these players, like, we're looking at them like, oh yeah, they're gonna be good, but then it's just not gonna translate. Yeah. And I hope for the best for all of them, and that they can just, you know, do their thing and shit.
CaBreon, I know you're a diehard Bucks fan, so who do you want the Bucks to take in this draft?
Whew. We should look to point at the point guard position.
Point guard position. What guards? I mean, all the good guards. I don't think like the Anthony Blacks of the world.
Yeah, they're
Those.
they're
Yeah.
out of there.
Like, there's not. Speaking of guards, there's not a lot of good point guards. There's a lot of good shooting guards and small. Yeah.
Wings. Yeah, you are right. But like on the position that we need to improve most on is the point guard position.
Yeah, but y'all need like a scorer, like like. I'm not gonna say like Do you know Marquis Sasser out of Houston?
Mm.
Walker. You know who Marcus is? Played with Darcy Walker. That Houston team that made that.
I like him.
Yeah, like I feel like that type of guard that will actually.
Rod, you there?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, that's great. Oh no.
Well, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My audio was acting up a little bit. My fault.
Yeah, I just did like Saturday could probably or like that can like help the Bucks out a lot. Like his 3-point ability and like his ability to score and pick and roll. I feel like that helped the Bucks out a lot.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think if we can't get a good point guard at that spot, we should still look at like a wing or like another big because Bobby Portis might not be.
This is the draft to get a big, but there's not a lot of good shooting bigs.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good shooting bigs. There's a lot of Rudy Gobert's in here. That's all I'm gonna say.
There's a lot of Rudy Gobert in there.
It's a lot of Rudy Gobert's. Like Terrence Jackson Davis. I mean, do we see? First of all, he's 6'8". He can't shoot the ball. So, Oscar Tshiebwe can't shoot the ball. Drew Timme really cannot shoot the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really good. Centers that can really spread the floor. But like, if you're a team like the Mavericks, this is a draft class for you, or the Hornets. These teams like that, or like the Rockets that just need like dominant bigs. Like, this is definitely the draft class for you to go out there and probably if you have pick 10. I mean, if like I got a DeAndre Ayton type prospect at number 10, would I be mad? No. So, I mean, it's probably the draft class if you're one of those teams to probably get not a dominant big, but a big that can contribute to the future of your team. So, yeah, I like that for those teams that need those bigs.
Mm.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Is there like anything else we should get into about the draft?
Not really. Probably just wait a little bit more, but that's probably it for now, for sure.
Yeah.
We definitely gonna have some more draft content on the way. Gonna have some who we believe have the best career out of stuff. We're gonna be producing a lot of content for the upcoming draft. That's actually this Thursday, as a matter of fact. This Thursday.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
And I think that's actually gonna do it for today. Whew,
All right.
boys. That was one hell of a episode.
It was good for sure.
Yeah. We'll definitely be back next week. Just make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok for more content on the way. We got a lot of store for you. Gonna be talking some NFL as training camp is nearby. MLB.
Let's go Lions.
College football on the way.
To be honest, I am cheering for the Lions. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mason?
I was responding to them. They're talking about the Lions, and I was like,
yeah, Mason don't know I'm a Lions fan. Mason don't know.
I actually do kind of feel with the Lions. I'm a Ra. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Helped me out in fantasy quite a bit, and I'm definitely again.
Yeah, I do like the Lions a lot. If you miss my predictions, I predicted that the Lions would win the NFC North.
Yes.
And I
thought you
had
said the championship.
them as the number 2 seed in the NFC. I actually like them a lot.
See, I'm a Lions fan, and that is a very, very, very hot take.
It's a hot take.
Yeah, that's a bit of a hot take.
But here's the thing. I actually went game by game looking at the schedule, and I picked every single game.
Okay.
And then when I looked at it, the Lions were, I believe I had them at 11-6.
I can see that. Give them get to the 11-10 win range.
Yeah.
Definitely over 10 wins.
Right now, I'm not gonna lie. The NFC is kind of
The NFC is weak when you look outside of Philly, though.
Yeah.
While the AFC, on the other hand,
It's another story. It's another story.
I mean that's another episode, to be honest.
That's another episode. We talk about that. We might be on here for another 3 hours.
To be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all have it. Happy birthday to our guy Dave too.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Whenever you hear this.
Yep. Best of luck to you. He will be on the podcast sooner than later. And we're gonna let y'all enjoy y'all weekend. So we'll see you.
So yeah.